Tucked inside the majestic mountains of East Tennessee, the Bristol Motor Speedway is one of the most unique sporting arenas on the planet. A racetrack that resembles a cereal bowl but imposes the intimidation of a coliseum. With seats stacked to the sky, the beating and banging of Bristol is about to take over the NASCAR world again to see who will be the master of this short track. The green flag flies, and it's time to drop the hammer.
It's free wide, heading towards the checkers.
Oh, everybody's crashing!
Side by side for the win!
He muscles him up and out of the groove! Now contact and around!
And this is going to stack up about 15 of them!
It's 3 wide for 3 rows! Kyle Larson has pulled off grand larceny!
Unbelievable!
A magnificent sporting Sunday in America, and in the Southeast, it's not all about the greenery at Augusta, as in eastern Tennessee, NASCAR has returned to the Bristol Motor Speedway as the Cup Series is back in action today. It's the Food City 500, ready to go for the stars and cars of the NASCAR Cup Series. Hello, one and all. I'm Matthew Owens. Our Ultimate Sports Racing team welcomes you to Bristol. Thanks for having us in for the race. Matt White and Seth Eaves coming up in just a moment. Excited to be back on the racing scene. We, of course, have stepped away for the last handful of weeks, covering all the madness of March, but March is in our rearview mirror, and now straight out in front of our windshield is a stretch of 16 consecutive weeks with NASCAR Cup Series action on the racetrack. Today, one of the great tracks in all of NASCAR, the iconic short track in Bristol, set to host half of 1,000 laps of Cup Series action here this afternoon. Race 8 of the NASCAR Cup Series season. And what's it been like since we last left you? Of course, our friends at JB Motorsports has been with you each and every week since we've stepped away, but the last time we were here with you physically, we were out west in Phoenix, Arizona. Ryan Blaney finished first, and guess what? We come back and Ryan Blaney is starting first here today. More on Blaney and the rest of the grid, but let's talk about what's happened since we've been gone. Blaney got the win in Phoenix, and then the very next week in Las Vegas, it was Denny Hamlin who scored his first win of the season, continuing the domination of Toyota at the start of the year. Darlington was won by Tyler Reddick. Reddick, after winning the first 3 races of the season, scoring the victory in Darlington and putting himself into rarefied air, winning 4 races right out of the gates on the season. And then in the last Cup Series race 2 weeks ago, before the Easter break, it was another half-mile short track in the Southeast, this time in Martinsville, Virginia, and it was Chevrolet's first victory of the season as Chase Elliott got the Hendrick Motorsports team back to Martinsville victory lane, where they so often go to. Elliott scored the victory, and that's what's been going on since we left you. So let's talk about what that means for the championship standings, because as we know, the championship standings, you have to look at it so differently this season than we have been in years past. Tyler Reddick still sits atop the quest for the Cup standings with those 4 early season victories. He has a massive 82-point lead on Ryan Blaney, who sits second. Denny Hamlin, the Las Vegas winner, third in the championship. Chase Elliott off the Martinsville win sits fourth, and William Byron sits in fifth. Now again, it's the top 16 drivers that make the chase for the Cup which is, of course, new or what is new is old again, however you want to define that. Here's the second page of the championship standings. Ty Gibbs has been consistent to start the year. He sits sixth ahead of Christopher Bell. Brad Keselowski has had really good runs of late. Kyle Larson off to maybe a start that isn't as up to the 5-team standards. In fact, he's in a tie with Keselowski and Chris Buescher for 8th, and that tie also reaches back to Darrell Wallace Jr., who started the season so strong. He started to drop down a bit. Joey Logano had a terrible Darlington. More on Logano and Team Penske a little bit later. Ryan Preece, Shane Van Gisbergen, Carson Hocevar, they sit inside the chase cutoff, and now to page 4 we go, and you see the cutoff for making the chase. 16th is where you need to be by regular season's end. That's where Daniel Suarez sits right now. Michael McDowell is 21 points behind Suarez. Austin Cindric is 26 out of the chase. Ross Chastain is 32 points beyond that chase cut line, and A.J. Allmendinger is backslid of late. He is in 20th. Maximum point game possible this season with the Xfinity fastest lap point, and of course the additional points for winning a race is 76. So the championship standings through the first 7 races of the year looking like that. And let's once again go to the top of that leaderboard, and let's bring in our guys Seth Eaves and Matt White. Start with you, Matt. When you take a look at the top of these Quest for the Cup standings, Tyler Reddick showing us how important winning still is despite the playoffs being no more.
Indeed so. Hello, Matthew. Hello, everyone. Good to be back. Looks a bit like the standings would be set from last year because we've got all 4 of our race winners in the first 4 positions in the championship standings, but their consistency has been part of it. Obviously, Reddick has won the chunk of the races so far. But yeah, the first few weeks we commented on it when we were doing those early races in February, March, were that it was all upside down, topsy-turvy, the championship standings. It's kind of settled itself down now. The beginning of the season is much behind us, and as you said, we've got the summer stretch to go through now before we get our next NASCAR break, and this will now shape the way we look at the point standings throughout the season. No real surprises outside of the top 16, aside from perhaps Chase Briscoe, who's in 21st.
Yeah, we'll be talking a lot about Briscoe, I feel, today, because he has had a very rough start to the season. Folks, you know it's a big event when Seth Eaves hops aboard. It's a big race when Seth is on, and Seth is on with us for the first time for NASCAR coverage in 2026. Hello, Seth. I know this is a happy place of yours. Welcome in.
It's going to sound forced and silly like a certain quote when I say this, but I really do mean it. It's so great to be back with you guys. It really is. Love the madness. Hey, what better place to have the season reunion than Bristol, Tennessee? Beautiful part of these United States. Fantastic portion of the race of the world. It's a great racetrack. Some say it's lost a little bit of its luster, obviously. Last year's spring race, not a classic. The night race, pretty good. We'll see how it all works out. They're doing all they can with the PGA 1. And it should be a fantastic race today. I, for one, am looking forward to enjoying it. And, well, will there be carnage? Will there be excitement? Who knows? And yes, Matthew, believe it or not, if the assignments are still correct from earlier in the week, you've got me updating on another Southern American classic going on as we speak.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Seth, first time you've joined us on the NASCAR scene this year. Your thoughts as we're going to just scan through these 4 pages of the top of the championship standings again. Your thoughts on the start to this season?
Been a good start to the season. Obviously, especially if you're a Tyler Reddick fan, he has just been absolutely magnificent. Carson Hocevar, that controversy is not dying down, apparently. And, you know, you got a lot of guys that are just, you know, they're obviously Chase getting the win at Martinsville. It's been an interesting start to the season. Now it feels like we really get kind of in the meat and potatoes time once we get into April, once we get past that first bye week. Now we get into April and May. We get into all these different racetracks, and and of course it's different than the past decade or so. We're back to Chaseland, and now points are going to be absolutely amazing, important, vital, critical, and winning races also very, very important. If you can have a day where you sweep the stages and just kick their butts, Lord have mercy, that could go a long way for you by the time we get to September, October, and championship time.
Yeah, absolutely right. 7 races into the season, as we've talked about, we stepped away for the madness, Matt. Your takeaways from what we quote-unquote missed. We missed it, but we still watched it, but we missed airing it, but JBM aired it for us. You got all that. Yes, Vegas, Darlington, Martinsville, what'd you think?
We've watched it back, we've debated, we've listened to podcasts and all other content around the world. Vegas was a bit drab, I have to say, but an emotional victory for Denny Hamlin, obviously what he's been through in the positive and also much more negative sense over the off-season. Then we went to Darlington. That was a really good race, but of all of the people to come out and take a victory, yet again, it was Tyler Reddick popping up at the end to win. And then Martinsville, I was going to say last week, but not really. The last race 2 weekends ago, Denny, again, in his sort of spectacular old Martinsville form, not even at 75%, just cruising. And then a strategy call on a 3rd and 15 from Alan Gutherson got Chase Elliott the victory. So, and again, we had Denny Hamlin po-faced because he'd missed out on another one. But great points day for the 11, 2-stage wins and a second, much to Seth's point from before about points being really important. And look where it puts him in the championship, although I'm sure he would have liked another grandfather clock. So it's been a great 3 weeks of sort of bits and pieces going on. And then we had a little trip to Rockingham last weekend for Grand National and trucks. But the Cup is where we are. Well, the Cup Series is where we live, and we're back at Bristol today, and it's going to be an exciting race for sure.
Let's talk about Bristol. Seth, it's been a mainstay on the calendar since the 60s. It's gone through some subtle changes, some bigger changes as the years have gone on, along with the rest of the sport and the cars and so on. And you mentioned it. We came here last spring. Well, let's back up. We came here in the summer/fall, whatever you want to call that night race now, in 2024, and had a bonkers race because the temperature was cool and the tires went crazy. That was in 2024. Then we came in 2025 in the spring race thinking we might see the same, and we didn't. The temperatures were warm, the tires didn't wear, and we saw a race that saw very little action. Not going to sugarcoat it, are we? Saw very little action. Kyle Larson won going away. Then we came here for the second time. For the night race, it was cooler. Tires were going crazy. The whole race was crazy. And now we're basically in a world, Seth, where every time we come to Bristol is a big science experiment. So do we really know what we're going to get today?
The big science experiment. You know what they ought to do? They ought to give free tickets to the Tennessee High, Virginia High, Dobbins-Bennett High, and Science Hill, and other local high schools as a part of this, because this is what this really is. The Food City Science Fair. But anyway, I mean, yeah, and you say we're not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not either. Kind of sucks that this is what this is being reduced to. Kind of sucks that a track that once was considered one of the action tracks, I know Richmond had the title action track, but this was one of the tracks for years upon years, a fan favorite. Everybody looked forward to it. I don't care what the Pistones of the world try to gaslight you into thinking. Everybody loved Bristol, and it was always a banger. But man, something changed. The progressive banking heard it. Then we heard it. Then we kind of went back to it being pretty solid. And then, boy, ever since we've gotten into this next-gen car, it's not been that great. And, well, I mean, the easy fix is to get a new car. Who knows how long, but we know that's probably not going to happen for a while. So, I don't know. I don't know. And
We don't know.
It does kind of suck that we're going into this race today where I'm crossing my fingers as opposed to being I'm more hyped up that I'm being with you guys again than the race itself. And no offense to you two, it shouldn't be that way at Bristol.
To paraphrase one of everybody's favourite actors, using a southern drawl, and we talked about things in the south today. Bristol Motor Speedway, a box of chocolates. You just don't know what you're going to get, and we'll open the box shortly and find out what's inside.
In an attempt to understand what we're going to get today, Matt, the tires aren't exactly the same from the last 2 times we were here, but Goodyear tells us they're very similar. Temperatures are going to just cross 80. It's 82 degrees right now, but the sun will not be beating down on this track on the start. It's going to be partly cloudy here at the start, and we know this is a concrete racetrack, so you cannot take on a concrete racetrack the ambient temperature and draw a direct correlation with the track temperature, can you?
No, not really. And Fox focused in on that, as they always do, I'm going to keep saying it, last week at Martinsville, with the concrete in the corners taking the rubber, and that will change through long green flag runs and when we pack them all back up under safety car and get restarts. So the track will go through multiple changes throughout the day. So the weather and the clouds being a big factor today. If we get a big clear out of the clouds and we have plenty of UV on the racetrack, that's perhaps not what people are expecting. And if that happens, that could change the state of play for the day.
Got the PJ1 traction compound as well around the bottom of the racetrack. Friday night's Truck Series race was very bottom dominant, with the bottom groove being the favored line. Last night in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race, the Grand National Series as we call it here, it was a mixed bag of bottom, middle, and top. We'll see what happens today. Those 2 races, 250 laps and 300 laps respectively. Today, 500 laps. And that is a part of the charm of coming to Bristol twice a year. These are 500-lap races. They can be grinding marathons. Of course, can be like last year's race here in the spring, or it could go by very quickly if there's not a lot of yellow. We'll see what kind of race we get today. Now, we've talked about this Bristol racetrack a lot with the steep banking and a self-cleaning racetrack and the half-mile cereal bowl kind of feel to it, the last great Coliseum. Well, why not? We're not going to keep telling you about it. Let's show you what it's all about here at Bristol in our virtual ride. And, well, in traffic, Matt, you can go to the bottom, you can go to the top, but you're going to see a lot of close racing just like that as we rub door handles with Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Yeah, we're going to have numbers rubbed off cars, Goodyear lettering rubbed off tyres all afternoon, especially on the restarts when everybody is packed up together. But depending on what the track does in our last conversation will depend on where the dominant line will be, up top, underneath. Traffic, of course, has been and will be a major part of the races here at Bristol. The track is, as you clearly showing here, just about wide enough for 3 wide, but it all comes back together as you come off the banking onto the straightaways.
I tell you what, look at it, sending it down 3 wide. And guess what? You can do that all day long because, again, 24 degrees of banking at the very bottom, 28 degrees at the top. It is progressive banking. The car gets very light on the exit of these corners. And look how quickly the laps also go by. You'll run 4 laps in a minute. And Seth, when you talk about this racetrack, ever since the progressive banking was put in the late 2000s, this is the kind of stuff you can do right around the wall. Austin Cindric kind of squeezing us, and guess what, Seth? I didn't like that very much. I'm going to go after him and give him the old bump and run, the Bristol move.
You mean to tell me you are going to give the 2-car the bump and run?
There he goes!
Yeah, I mean, that's... What now? I'm sorry?
He just got shipped. See ya, buddy.
Yep, he did. Yeah. In all seriousness, yeah, you can, but Brent Cruz will be the first to tell you there's a fine line between it.
Yes. That's what we're going to see all day long here at the Bristol Motor Speedway in Tennessee as we get ready for the Food City 500. In a world where we don't don't get a lot of normalcy. I tell you what, it's been called the Food City 500 ever since 1991, and it is again here today. Engines
and
about...
If I may,
Yes, go on.
If I may, we do, we have fun because it was a certain race, someone introduced it with, but Food City, a great chain of grocery stores in the Northeast Tennessee, Southwest Virginia area. Of course, they're all across the state of Tennessee, and it is a good convenience store, and they have pretty good food from in there as well.
Yeah. Engine's about to be fired up. That means it's time for us to give you our ones to watch.
It's been a rough start to the season for Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and now he heads to one of his better tracks statistically, even if the recent stats don't show it. While yes, Stenhouse does have 7 career top 10s at Thunder Valley, he's been 20th or worse in 7 of his last 8 trips to the Tennessee-Virginia border, but he also has 27 straight finishes outside the top 10 on non-drafting tracks. Today, Stenhouse and the Hayek team are hoping that they could start a turnaround with a good showing at Bristol here today.
During the off-season, big news happened for Brad Keselowski, and not in a good way. A skiing accident left him with a broken leg. He turned up at Daytona with a crutch, and news came through that there was talk that he might not even walk again, let alone drive. Yet again, a sportsman has put the doctors to shame, and here is Brad Keselowski having one of the best seasons he's had for many a year. He comes to Bristol this weekend well inside the top 10 in points, and a track where he's won 3 times and led over 1,000 laps. Can the one-legged fairy tale story continue for RFK and Brad Keselowski this weekend?
Kyle Larson is just about good everywhere we go, but recently at Bristol he has been elite. He's won 2 of the last 3 trips to Thunder Valley, and in each of those 2 wins, he's led over 400 of the 500 laps. But so far this year, it's been a bit below what the normal standards are for the 5 team. But today, Larson, Cliff Daniels, and Team 5 come back to one of their best racetracks in Thunder Valley, Bristol, Tennessee. Those are the ones to watch today here in Bristol for Race 8 of the NASCAR Cup Series season. Let's go into the starting grid for this 500-lap race. Here this afternoon on the pole, High Point, North Carolina's Ryan Blaney, 13th pole of his career next to Tyler Reddick, starting on the front row for the 4th time this season. Chase Briscoe starts 3rd. He's been in the top 10 in 3 straight Bristol races. And Riley Herbst has his best career starting spot of 4th. Ty Gibbs, 200 laps he led here last time in the fall. He's next to Ross Chastain, who's never led a lap at Bristol. Chris Buescher, a former winner here in the night race of 2022 in row 4 with Kyle Larson, who's won 2 of the last 3 in Thunder Valley. And in row 5, Austin Cindric, the 2 car, has won here a dozen times. He's next to Carson Hocevar.
Denny Hamlin occupies the 6th row alongside Bubba Wallace, one of his employees. Row 7, Daniel Suarez from Mexico, and Christopher Bell. He has a win here. He'll be one to watch today as well. Zane Smith and Noah Gregson, a couple of the young shoes, will make up the 8th row. In the 9th row, it's Ryan Priest, could be a threat today, and Chase Elliott, winner of our most recent race in Martinsville, Virginia. And in the 10th row this afternoon, veteran Michael McDowell from Arizona, and another veteran, Joey Logano from the state of Connecticut.
Row 11, couple of triple word scores on row 11. Brad Keselowski and AJ Allmendinger up there on row 11. Just behind another of our ones to watch, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He's next to his former teammate Austin Dillon in the free car. Row 13 is Josh Berry and Connor Zilich, yesterday's winner in the Grand National race. Row 14, the returning Alex Bowman is alongside Eric Jones. And it's Kyle Busch in the 8 and Cole Custer in the 41 on row number 15.
And the rest of the field will wind through your screen. John Hunter Nemechek, who hasn't had a top 10 since Gateway last year. Ty Dillon in his 14th career Bristol start. Shane Van Gisbergen, 38th and 26th here last year. William Byron starting outside the top 30 for just the 15th time in his career. Todd Gilliland and Cody Ware make up the 18th row, and alone On the final row is Chad Fincham from nearby Knoxville, Tennessee. That's the starting grid. 17 Chevrolets, 11 Fords, and 9 Toyotas on the grid for the Food City 500. Here's how the race will set up for you. 500 laps, just a smidge under 267 miles, about 430 kilometers. Stage lengths make great sense today. 125, 125, 250. Race record was set here all the way back in 1977 by Bobby Allison, average speed of just over 100 miles an hour. Kyle Larson just missed breaking that record in this race a year ago by less than half a mile an hour. Bristol's been on the Cup Series schedule for a long time. As we talked about, this is the 128th Cup Series race here in Thunder Valley. And it's whiteboard time for Matt.
Thank you, Matthew. And it is the whiteboard, and we start with tyres. We talked about it in the open there. We don't know what we're going to get in terms of weather, wear, heat, all of that today. Do you want to be Dr. Jekyll, or do you want to be Mr. Hyde with your tyres? What are they going to do? Goodyear, we will find out shortly. Don't be at the back of the field, because as we talked about again, the laps go by quickly here. The leader is always coming at you at a great rate of knots. Going laps down here, pretty much if you go more than one lap down, could be the end of your day early. And it is Bristol, so they will be beaten. They'll be banging. You need to make sure you have a straight car if you've got a chance of winning at the end of the race. But then again, history tells us that's not always the case either. So things to look out for today: tyres, laps down, and crashing.
That's what everybody wants to see at Bristol, don't you know?
Well, indeed so.
Glad to have you all with us. The Super Booth, as we like to call ourselves. That's very self-serving, that nickname. But we are back, and we are ready for action today here at the Bristol Motor Speedway with the 8th race of the NASCAR Cup Series season. And you know what else that means, Mr. White? We did this a couple of years ago. That means you and I, we're not getting paid by the word today, and that's probably good.
Nope, we're going to keep it clear, we're going to keep it quick, and we're going to keep it clean, and back to you.
Very good. And Seth will keep us updated on things going on both on the track, on pit road, on a certain golf course in Georgia. And Seth will be up here breaking down all kinds of things as he joins us for the first time on NASCAR coverage this year. Just about set for green flag time in Bristol for the Food City 500. Ryan Blaney on the pole, as mentioned, just the 13th pole of Blaney's career. And he is set to lead us to the start of a race, as we have talked about, which could be very unpredictable as the day goes on. As I mentioned, temperatures just hitting 80 degrees, fireworks overhead. Matt, we're coming to a green flag.
We are in clear skies. Looks like a beautiful crowd in here today at the Great Coliseum. We want to get a crowd in the chat. Get your messages in. We will get to them as best we can through the chaos of the Food City 500 at Bristol. Chevrolet pace car about to do the very quick and very banked turn to pit road, and we're going to get some green flag action, and NASCAR Cup Series racing is back.
Off turn 4, green flag goes up in the air, and it's time to drop the hammer in Thunder Valley. We're racing at Bristol.
Ryan Blaney jumping away from that pole position. He will lead out of turn number 2. Ross Chastain has got around Tyler Reddick to third. Kyle Larson trying to do the same.
Ryan Blaney comes off turn 4. He will lead lap 1. He's led in 7 of the first 8 races in 2026.
Huge slide from Larson off 4 and to get way out of the throttle, and that has allowed Tyler Reddick to get back up alongside him as they challenge going into turn 3. Looks like Larson on the high line will prevail.
Larson off turn 4 clears Riley Herbst, who had his best ever qualifying run here yesterday in his career.
Sorry, yes, that is Herbst. I got my Monster and Toyota's cars mixed up, but it's Herbst in the 35, Reddick tucked in behind. Christopher Bell trying to make some progress. He's up to 8th off the start.
Bell, the most recent Cup Series winner at Bristol. Further back, double file action at the 10th position between Chris Buescher and Ty Gibbs.
And Gibbs is in a bit of a hornet's nest here. Austin Cindric trying to get underneath him. Riley Herbst and Denny Hamlin trying to get through from behind.
Gibbs will skate up the banking in turns 3 and 4. Now Denny Hamlin, like a rat through a drain pipe, gets to his inside. Joe Gibbs Racing teammates duel for position.
And Hamlin will go through. Gregson had to get out of it in the high line there as well. he will lose some positions. Here comes Daniel Suarez to pick up some momentum in some places too.
Looks like Old Bristol here at the start. You want to be at the bottom, and Gibbs tries to shoehorn his way to the bottom, and Zane Smith gives him a boot.
Had to get way out of the throttle, backed up the cars behind. No, Gregson still can't get in. He's stuck up on the high side here. This is like Daytona when you get out of line for Noah, and he's really trying to get in front of the 38, but can't do it.
So Smith will get down in line, but Noah Gregson still struggling to do so. Joey Logano to his left elbow.
And now Gregson will tuck in behind the 22 and in front of AJ Allmendinger behind. So that's 17th place for Noah Gregson in the 4 car.
So Gregson finally finds a place in line, and we're just about all single filed out here on the start. Everyone learning that you need to get on the bottom. Michael McDowell certainly learning that you need to be on the bottom. He is stuck out on the top side, but now we'll get down further back to get down in front of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. So Seth, well, laps go by quickly as we talked about. We've already completed 8 laps in those couple of minutes, and as I said, it looks a little bit like Old Bristol at the start, at least with the PJ1. You want to be down on the bottom.
Yeah, Herbst and Zane Smith, I think, found that the hard way. Christopher Bell is your biggest mover so far. He's moved up 6 spots since they dropped the rag on this thing, and that should be surprised to absolutely no one. And William Byron, that's a sharp-looking Valvoline 24. Now, I got to tell you, Matthew, this is a nostalgia comment for us. Did you ever think you would ever see the day, you and I would ever see the day that we would get Valvoline on a 24 car?
Yeah, no kidding.
That used to be polar opposites, but
yeah,
anyway.
It sure did. Byron with a terrible qualifying day here yesterday. As I said, just the 15th time in his career that he qualified outside the top 30, Matt, and he's finding it difficult to make up spots early. And as you said off the start, Matt, you've got to go off the start here, because if we get a long green flag run, if you're in the 30s, you're going to be put a lap down really quick. Byron running back in the 34th position.
I know we're only on lap 13 of 500, but this has already got a feel of a bit of a green start to this race. And Ryan Blaney is checked out to almost a second and a half now out front on Ross Chastain. And he's about half a straightaway behind Chad Fincham, who is bringing up the rear of the field at this moment in time. So Lappery comes around quickly here at Bristol.
So Blaney away with the lead by nearly a second and a half on Chastain. Kyle Larson in third. We said this. By the way, if you are new to us on this channel and new to our NASCAR coverage, we have been away for a few weeks, but we said it couple weeks back in Phoenix, whatever it was. We said, we know you can get the running order on the left side of your screen, but you're never going to get the radio people out of us here. So we're always going to give you the running order, even though you have it on your screen. For those of the people that might not be watching.
If you hear me call basketball, you know you can't get the radio out of me either.
for those that, you know, might not be watching us, might have us in their pocket or on a Bluetooth or whatever. Yes, we'll continue to give you the running order, but it's Ryan Blaney at the front of the field here, as we mentioned, by a second and a half on Ross Chastain. Kyle Larson climbed quickly to third. Riley Herbst has held on to that 4th starting position. That's where he runs ahead of teammate Tyler Reddick. That's the top 5. Carson Hocevar's jumped up 4 positions from 10th to 6th. And as you mentioned, Matt, Ryan Blaney checking out early.
Yeah, second and a half clear of Chastain, who's about half a second clear of Larson. It's about half a second pretty much between all the cars from there on back. So all single file at the moment with Blaney clear at the lead.
20 laps up on the board. In fact, he'll complete lap 20 here next time around, will Blaney, and we will get into the process of him having to pick his way through lap traffic, where that lead on Chastain could go away very quickly. Let's pick up Blaney with traffic ahead in turn 2.
Yep, so mark that down. 20 laps from a start. It has taken Ryan to get to the back of the full field. We'll have people drop out of this race, I'm sure, as the day goes on, but 20 laps to get to the back of the queue here.
Also, just keep an eye on the lap times as we continue to go on. Certainly doesn't look like here at the start that everyone's going, 100%, and I'm sure this is a big feeling out process for all of these teams, trying to figure out what the track conditions and what the tire conditions are like here off the start. Remember the last race we were here for, the night race last year, we had guys having to come down pit road on lap 40 of a run because they had worn their tires out so much. So we'll see how many guys are taking it easy. Blaney continuing to work on the rear of the field. In fact, he's just got around the Knoxville native Chad Fincham. And as we've talked about, Seth, William Byron really needs to get going.
Yeah,
He
indeed.
really
So,
does. By the way, the only track, active track where he has not led a lap yet, William Byron. So that doesn't look like it's changing anytime soon. As mentioned, he's about to get lapped. But to your point about the lead shrinking, Chastain's already cut the deficit to less than a second.
Well, and we saw lap traffic massively impact Friday night's Truck Series race that got wild and, well, was wild basically from the start. Here's Blaney in turn 4. He'll slip down to the inside of Cody Ware, and he'll get around the 51. That's a second car, put a lap down for Blaney, and now he's getting even closer to Byron.
Two people that we would be battling, think really going to be battling this year for the championship, and Byron, well, a couple of laps away perhaps from going a lap down early here.
And Kyle Larson starting to run down Ross Chastain as well. Blaney on the back bumper of Ty Dillon in 2.
And the gap at the front has come down by half a second now that Ryan has got into traffic. Although that will ebb and flow now as this goes on with how quickly people want to get out of the way or not. Talking of which, Kyle Larson right at the back door of Ross Chastain for second place.
Yeah, those two will battle in 2.
And Larson will sneak by. So used Chad Fincham's car as a bit of a helper there. So change of second position. It is Larson up to second ahead of Chastain.
So Larson to second, Chastain backslides to third, and Riley Herbst is on the bumper of Chastain.
Good to see Riley up this high early in the day. Let's hope he keeps it there, because there's a lot of people that are anti-Riley Herbst, and he could do with a really good result to put some craw in those people's opinion.
People are anti-Riley Herbst. Have you heard of that, Seth? I can't imagine anyone being anti-Riley Herbst.
You know, it's kind of Greek to me, but, you know, we'll, yeah, very unfamiliar with that one. Next you're gonna be telling me there are people that are anti Joey Logano.
Yeah.
Oops.
Boy, I tell you. Crazy how things work in this sport and the fans. Let's pick up Christopher Bell. He's climbing the banking in turns 3 and 4, going after the 23 of Darrell Wallace Jr. They're back in turn 1. This is a battle for 7th.
Yeah, Wallace has it. Bell is after it, and they're just about to get onto the tail of Chad Fincham as well. So we could have a positional change there. A little bit further forward, championship leader Tyler Reddick going about his merry way. He's in 5th position.
Yeah, has dropped from 2nd to 5th. Wow, Bell to the inside of Wallace and 1, and Wallace tries to throw a big block.
Meanwhile, Kyle Larson's got to the tail of Ryan Blaney for the lead as they come out of turn number 4, picking their way past Ty Dillon.
Ryan Blaney trying to lap Ty Dillon on a short track. Haven't seen that one before.
Yes, quite. They've got past him cleanly this time, though, back into turn number 3. And next up in front of them is Larson's teammate, William Byron. He could help his teammate here, perhaps.
Back into 1 go the leaders.
And Blaney trying to get on to the back of the 24 car, but isn't quite close enough to make a move yet.
And Larson about 2 car lengths back. Blaney gets underneath the spoiler of Byron. They flash across the line and go back to the corner.
Looking at the front of the number 12 Mustang from the rear camera of Ryan Blaney, if you're watching the World Feed pictures. And Blaney is close, and he is going to be looking to try and make a move as quickly as he can here.
Larson trying to rip a run off the top as Blaney gets a bit impatient with Byron and digs a route underneath him.
And he will go through in turn 2. Byron will try and hang on here on the outside, but it looks like this is a bottom-heavy track at the moment. And Byron goes up the racetrack. Blaney is through, and Larson will follow shortly.
So, Seth, did you have on your bingo cards at the start of the weekend William Byron off the lead lap? Not even 40 laps complete.
No, but that's why we watch auto racing, because you just never know what's going to happen sometimes when you watch these races. And obviously, the 24, old Rudy, and old Rudy F has missed the setup just a tad on that 24 car as Blaney leads, but Larson's bearing down on him on the main straightaway.
Rudy right now is saying F this and F that because it is not going too well for William Byron. We talk about how quickly the laps click off here, Seth. We've run 11 minutes. We've completed 41 laps.
Blink and you miss, almost literally here at this place.
It is crazy how quickly they go by. Blaney and Larson have maneuvered their way around the machine of Todd Gilliland to put him a lap down. Next car on the hit list for Blaney will be Shane Van Gisbergen, who that was pretty honest all last year and on the build-up to this week, Matt. This is probably his worst track.
Yeah, after a really great run at Martinsville last week, which is trending to be his best oval, he comes to his worst. And he was a bit of a fish out of water, wasn't he, here last year in both races, but just needs to get around and get to the end here this week. And he's had a lead change in his rearview mirror because Kyle Larson has squeaked past Ryan Blaney for P1.
So Kyle Larson, who led 400-plus laps in back-to-back Bristol races, fall of 24 and spring of 25, but then did not lead a single lap here in the night race. Last year, Matt, he goes to the lead. How did he get it?
Blaney trying to go underneath. Oh, SVG in turn one had a wiggle right down there on the bottom and had to wash up the racetrack. And Kyle said, "Oh, thank you very much. It's a late Easter present from Ryan Blaney."
It's lap 45. Blaney got wiggled. I don't want to fight between you two now. I don't want to play referee first trip back up here.
As they get around my other favourite driver. Yeah, indeed so.
Meanwhile, another change of position at fifth.
Oh, that's right. You were the Larson flags. That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Change at fifth. Christopher Bell gets by Tyler Reddick. We definitely anticipate Bell being a big mover all day long. He won the night race here last year. Also very good on the other two concrete racetracks that we run at in the Cup Series at Dover and Nashville. Already, 6 cars off the lead lap. John Hunter Nemechek in the 31st position, the first car off the lead lap. Let's pick up a battle for 7th in turn 2.
Quickly on Christopher Bell, we did that Dover race last year. He should have won that race twice and didn't. So he is very good on the concrete. That battle we were looking at was Reddick and Hocevar. A little bit further back, who are we focusing in here? Ty Gibbs. He's been one of our worst fallers off the green flag. He's down to 14th.
Yeah, he has really slipped back. Let's see if Regan Smith can tell us a bit about it.
Exactly what crew chief Tyler Allen told me that they've been doing all year long. Focus forward, look out the windshield, don't worry about what's behind you. Been doing that in the car so far. Look for him to start moving back forward.
Gibbs, as I mentioned earlier, led 201 laps in the night race here last year. Bristol has always been one of his best racetracks, struggling here off the start. Kyle Larson struggling to get through traffic, and Ryan Blaney is back to him. They're in 2.
This is what's going to happen all day long with the leaders if they're close together. If the leader gets stuck in a bit of a traffic hole, it's one of the Legacy Motor Club cars, and we saw them causing trouble at Martinsville a couple of weeks ago, both of them involved in some traffic or nonsense. Larson goes way up high in turn 1 to try and get the run on JHN in front of him. Hasn't quite done it. Blaney looking in behind, interested too. It's the 42 and then the 41 in front. Cole Custer is next up.
Blaney rifled it to the bottom of 3 and 4, but cannot get alongside Larson this time.
They're all going to get bottled up here. This is perhaps going to give Ross Chastain a chance to cut the 3-second deficit he's got to these leaders, but he's in traffic too. Larson way up the racetrack, almost out of the groove completely in turn 3.
But he muscles up a big run off the top of 4 to hold the lead.
And Nemechek this time gives up the bottom to Larson in turn 2. They touch on the back straightaway. I don't think Larson was quite happy about that, but he'll sneak through.
Well, he hasn't cleared Nemechek yet, and they're still rubbing fenders going back to 1.
And Larson will be texting Denny Hamlin after the race. I now get what you were on about last week. But Larson does now clear JHN, and Custer jumps way out of the way in the 41 car, let him through.
And Blaney still hasn't gotten around Nemechek. Of course, the race for the free pass here sometimes is just as entertaining as any other races around Bristol. Battle for 3rd, not a battle in turn 2.
Christopher Bell on the march forward. We talked about him getting around Herbst a little while ago. He's now got past Chastain for the 3rd position as well. So a Toyota in the mix in 3rd place.
And Riley Herbst trying to close up in on Chastain. Ross Chastain, he's never loved Bristol, has he, Seth? He's never led a lap here, but he's had a good car this weekend, trying to fill things out here as we approach 60 laps. He might be losing 5th to Herbst, Seth.
Yeah, I found that just a tick surprising that he had never led a lap here, but yeah, Bristol not exactly one for the Melon Man here, but he is off to a decent start, although he is going to lose that 4th spot. He goes a little bit up the racetrack. Oh, he gets a good run, though, so Yeah, Chastain fourth, and Riley Herbst, as you mentioned, staying strong and making a pass, Matt White.
Indeed so, and perhaps to a Chastain point, this is what we've talked about a bunch on our networks over the last couple of years. If only he could qualify. Well, he's qualified better this week, much better than his two Trackhouse teammates anyway. See if he can keep this run together, because it has been a bit of a slow start to the season for the one team. Larson leading lap 62.
And he's going to put a lap on Alex Bowman, and we've got a spin in turn 2.
Oh, and it's Brad Keselowski, one of our ones to watch that's gone around. Single car incident, caught out by the yellow flag and the yellow screen that we're looking at there for a moment. But it's Brad Keselowski who's gone around and got back going again. Didn't look like he made any contact with anybody or anything.
Caution is out just past the 60-lap mark of the Food City 500 here in Bristol, and Brad Keselowski, a 3-time Bristol winner, goes for a single-car spin, picked it up. We'll have to check if he went a lap down or not, because he rejoined basically right with the leaders. Free pass will go to Connor Zilic in 29th, who had just gotten overtaken by the leader Kyle Larson. And we'll try to figure out what has happened to Brad Keselowski. Last win here came in 2020, that wild race in front of nobody, where Chase Elliott and Joey Logano tangled late. What happened to Bradley here, Seth? Had some help.
Yeah, it would help to turn. It would help to turn my mic on. It would help to turn my mic on. He got a little help from my one to watch.
Wow.
He got Stenhouse, if you will, in turn 2. A little bump from Ricky. Brad goes around, and well, orange is a popular color around here, but when you mix them together, sometimes it can get very toxic. And well, it's proven that way to be on the racetrack as well. And I say that knowing that I'm right in the fire of all that orange toxicity that can exist. But anyway, yeah, Stenhouse, none pleased. Or Keselowski, I'm sure none pleased.
That is Seth's ones to watch, taking out Matt's ones to watch. My ones to watch leads. But now we're all on pit road. And on the backstretch pit, Matt, tell us what's going on.
Kyle Larson down and away from the 5 pit. Looked like a clean stop there. Tyler Reddick also being serviced by the championship leading 2311 crew. Wheels spinning away from the pit stop for the 45.
On the front stretch pit, Christopher Bell peels in, stops very short in his box. Right side tires going on this black, red, and white Rheem Toyota. Team swings around to left sides. Jack is up. Kyle Busch pulls in right in front of Bell. Pole sitter Ryan Blaney as the number 1 pit stall on this end of pit road. It's Larson who wins the race off from Blaney, and those two are well ahead of everyone else, followed by Bell, Herbst, Chastain, Reddick, Cindric, Briscoe, Hocevar, Buescher, Wallace, Suarez, Hamlin, Gibbs, Smith, Logano, Gregson, Allmendinger, Dillon, and Busch. The way they come off of pit road, it is a traffic jam. You're right.
Interstate 81 traffic updates with Matthew Owens.
So we'll have to see what these guys are saying about their tires at the end of that run. That went about 60 laps, so we'll get an idea of what the tires are doing.
It's the bottom of the hour. Shall I interest you in the first of our 30-minute or so updates?
Absolutely. So here we go. Hello, friends, and welcome.
Oh God!
To your
I'm not going to do it if you're doing that.
Your Masters update with Seth Eaves.
Oh, and that's just changed.
I'm going to do it if you do it like that. God almighty. Come on, let's go now. In all seriousness, Scotty Scheffler for par at 7. He just made it, but he's 3 off the lead. Rory McIlroy at the 4th with a double bogey. Cameron Young now leads the Masters by 2 shots over Rory McIlroy. Scotty Scheffler, Justin Rose, and Russell Henley are 3 off the lead at 9 under. As the final round is well underway, McIlroy now with a 2nd shot, par 4 5th. Let's see how it all works out as the patrons are watching.
They just showed a little while ago on the world feed a very young-looking Cameron Young in 2007 standing outside Augusta National, and here he is leading the Masters on the final day.
Shot from Rory. He's going to have some work to do with that putt. That is not going to be an easy putt by any stretch. My best guess is that it's going to be a par at best here. So, for all those that thought that Rory had the yips out of his system after last year, you'd be wrong.
Now, if you are watching our screen, you can see that Timing and Scoring has Chase Elliott and Josh Berry ranked first and second. We will look to confirm if those two did indeed stay out, because I would say, Matt, if you ran 60 laps here and stayed out, you must be really confident that we're not seeing a lot of tire fall off.
Yeah. Tyler Reddick speeding on pit road.
Ooh. Well,
I gotta be honest, I don't know how the hell anyone was speeding as crowded as that pit road was.
Well, and this is one of the trickiest pit roads as far as speeding, because there's so many timing lines, because you have a backstretch pit and a front stretch pit, and turns 3 and 4 connects them, and you cannot speed through the turns 3 and 4 apron. Fox listening to us, showing us those timing lines. So. My goodness. But yeah, Matt, I'd be interested here. Alan Gustafson making another kind of off-strategy call here at the helm of the 9 pit box and leaving him out.
Yeah, we saw Ross Chastain, didn't we, at Martinsville late, have the call to stay out, and kind of worked. But I don't think it's going to work around here. I was going to say we didn't get a chance to get it in just as Blaney was catching the back end of the traffic there. It was about at that point 2 years ago in this race that all hell broke loose and we realised that the tyres were falling to pieces. At least we got a lot further than that today. So Reddick will go to the back here on this restart, and we'll get confirmation of what is happening with the 21 and the 9.
So, Chase Elliott and Josh Berry
Here he is.
will be, I tell you what, Fox has gotten more screen time out of Michael Jordan this year than NBC has. Just incredible. Let's see.
They did stay out, and they are taking the choose now, and Chase Elliott will line up on the inside for this restart.
Confirmation that the 9, and I'm going to assume the 21 as well, opted not to pit.
So, strategy moves there from Alan Gustafson and Miles Stanley to keep the 9 and 21 cars on the racetrack. They would rather track position here rather than fresh shoes. And they'll restart on the front row, Matt, as the field queues up behind the Royal Blue Chevrolet Corvette pace car.
Indeed so. They are the front row, and then the two guys that were at the front of the field will be on the second row. Kyle Larson on the outside, Ryan Blaney to his left shoulder for this restart, which will come with 55 laps to go in this first stage at Bristol Motor Speedway, which will be lap 71 of the race.
So coming to the restart with Elliott and Berry on the front row. Into the restart zone they come. Green flag goes back up into the air, and Elliott takes off from the control car position, and Larson takes it to the top 3 wide.
All the way around the top for Kyle Larson, and he will go to the lead from the second row. Elliott has already been swamped, and Larson will now complete that double pass off turn 4.
Wow, so Larson quickly to the lead using his fresh tires, and Christopher Bell jumps up to third.
And Bell does go in a third. Next up, a little bit further back, Elliott and Blaney side by side, the two good friends. Then it's Chastain and Riley Herbst behind them, but Larson off and away.
A lot of side-by-side racing, middle of the pack, but it's all behind Kyle Larson.
He is clear. Berry holding on a little bit better than Chase Elliott here on this restart, who now will slip in behind Ryan Blaney. Chastain and Herbst, Cindric and Briscoe up in the 9th place.
Ross Chastain with a big run off the top of turn 4 clears Riley Herbst. That's for 6th.
Didn't help him any, though. He washes up the racetrack in 2, and Riley will come back underneath. On the back straightaway in the 35, they're stuck bottled up behind the no new tired anyway, Chase Elliott.
They do have tires on, we can confirm.
Yes. They're just not new Goodyear Eagles. And Herbst gets the position back on Chastain, which will leave him open to the Biscuit Mobile of Chase Briscoe. He will dive down the inside and take the position as well.
Austin Cindric in the thick of this, along with Carson Hocevar.
Yeah, they're all queued up behind here. There's a couple of the RFK cars, I believe, behind there. Certainly Chris Buescher was in the back as my screen does a funny thing, but I've got it back in front of me, which is handy. Chastain way up the racetrack in 3.
Yeah, he went way up the racetrack there, falls in line behind Hocevar.
And in front of Austin Cindric, who actually muscles his way past coming out of turn number 2 as well. So not a good restart here for the 1 car.
And then Chastain put Cindric up the racetrack with his bumper, kind of like we did in our virtual ride. But Cindric kept on going, and Chastain might end up losing a spot to Wallace.
Meanwhile, at the front, Kyle Larson has stretched it out here by about 3/4 of a second on Josh Berry.
Yeah, Berry holding strong in that second position. He's gotten the better of this strategy rather than Chase Elliott.
Yeah, who's slipped to 5th, which isn't too bad, I suppose, from the front row. We've seen people plummet through the field here before on a no-tie call, but these two guys hanging on decently.
46 laps to go in this opening stage, and wow, here's 3-wide racing between 3 Fords. Ryan Preece, Joey Logano, and Brad Keselowski, who did stay on the lead lap.
Logano trying to get around Preece. Didn't get around him there in the middle of this RFK sandwich. Preece up the racetrack again in 3 and 4.
Preece in that multicolored blue Muscle Milk number 60, new look for the 60 team.
We'll be hearing more about Muscle Milk when we get to On This Day in Racing at the end of this first stage. Logano's still trying to work her way around the 60 car. Isn't close enough to make a maneuver at the moment.
Logano right there, needing to find some good runs here. It has been a lean start to the year for this 22 team.
Yeah, it really has. Especially compared to his teammates, as we've seen Ryan Blaney get a victory already this season. A bit further forward, Chase Briscoe still under attack here from Carson Hocevar. This is 7th and 8th, just in front of Austin Cindric, another of the Penske cars. He's in 9th as they roll around turns 3 and 4.
By the way, Seth, I just want to make mention, during the caution, a number of teams took the wave around to get back onto the lead lap. Cody Ware, Ty Dillon, Shane Van Gisbergen, Todd Gilliland, Alex Bowman, John Hunter Nemechek. They all took the wave around to get back on the lead lap. But Seth, interestingly enough, Rudy Fugle and William Byron did not, and Byron is still trapped a lap down in 36th.
Yeah, rough go there for Byron. So, not real sure what exactly is going on with that 24 bunch. I just need to reiterate for potential newbies out there. Chase Briscoe's car is not sponsored by Bojangles this weekend or by Pillsbury.
No.
Lance Crackers, which are referred to as biscuits in that United Kingdom. Just so we can get that out of the way. I could not let
It's
that
also funny because my nephew is called Lance, so as soon as that paint scheme was announced last week, a picture was sent directly to his mum.
Interestingly enough, too, in this part of the world, in the southeast, they're not called crackers either. They're called nabs.
I gotta be honest with you.
NASCAR and local dialect lessons on the Ultimate Sports Network.
I've lived in the southeast all my life, which is just more than 32 years. I've never heard the term nabs.
Really? Oh, my goodness. I grew up on my grandmother and great-grandmother. Give me a pack of nabs. And it was Lance Crackers, which is, by the way, the only place that could come up with a combination of cheddar cheese and peanut butter. For goodness sakes. Anyway, just about to the 100-lap mark of this race as we get back to the things that really matter, which is, cracker talk. It's a good cracker. That's a good race car with 90 laps on the board here in Bristol. Going back to that decision, Matt, of William Byron and Rudy Fugle not taking the wave around, I'm confused at that because you could take the wave around, get back on the lead lap, and maybe stay on the lead lap until the stage caution, or at least maybe get you in a spot where you could get the free pass. But now, by not doing that, he did restart as the first car 1 lap down, but Larson's already lapped Custer, Ware, Dillon, and Gilliland all over again. So Byron is now the 5th car 1 lap down. They're nowhere in position to get that free pass in 33 laps.
Yeah, strange call, and they could have perhaps got another caution off the restart with the field all packed back up together. We didn't get one, but that perhaps could have gone that way. We're seeing some replays of Kyle Larson hitting cars, hitting the wall, hitting everything on his way to the lead so far, but the 5 car seemingly is a quick thing. But strange decision from the 24 team. they won't go 2 laps down in this run because there won't be enough time. So at least they know that they won't fall even further down.
Um,
But I wouldn't like to bet on it. Now I've said it.
Yeah, he might. We'll try to follow that because that's what I was concerned about. Not taking the wave around, but still restarting at the back. You could fall 2 laps down, and that's not going to help you at all. That's almost race over if you fall 2 laps down this early.
Yeah.
So,
Which is what I was trying to say in the whiteboard before the race started. If you go 2 laps down or more, your day's going to be a long one.
yeah.
Well, folks, Matt was telling you things that you only on the Ultimate Sports Network. Well, only on a NASCAR race can you hear this interesting report that just came across. Team radio from Austin Dillon and crew chief Richard Boswell, and I want to reiterate that this is a direct quote from Austin on the radio. Quote: "I just had a bird shit like right where I had to look out the window."
Huh.
To which Richard Boswell responded, "Hey, that's good luck."
It is good luck.
Is it?
Apparently so.
Yes, it is.
Well,
On page 408 of the Old Wives' Tales Bible.
Well, I know of a 3-car that hit a bird at Daytona in 1991, and everyone acted like the seagull cost him the 500.
Yeah, it happened on like
Still
what,
big to this day.
9?
Yeah, like 10 laps in, hit a bird, and everyone was like, "Well, that's why he lost." Not quite. Anyway,
By the way, he was 20th when he reported that. He's up to 16th now.
he's up
so
to
maybe they
16th.
do that.
So well,
There you
maybe
go.
it is good luck. Who knew? Kyle Larson continues to lead. I know that for sure. Matt mentioning he's hit the wall, he's hit cars, he's hit everything but the lottery, and we're not even 100 laps into this thing yet. We're right at 100 laps. He doesn't need to win the lottery. I do.
No, true. He's closing in on the early jackpot of stage points at the end of stage 1, perhaps.
He, Bell, and Blaney, who all pitted underneath that first caution, they run first, second, third. Then the 2 cars that stayed out, Josh Berry and Chase Elliott, are 4th and 5th. Rest of the top 10 is Chase Briscoe, Riley Herbst, Carson Hocevar, Austin Cindric, and Darrell Wallace Jr., your top 10 runners here, as we are down to 22, now 21 laps to go in this opening stage as Larson clicks across the line one more time. And let's go down to Regan Smith on pit road. He's going to tell us a little bit about tires, if I can find my cursor. Thank you.
Christopher Bell, and I can tell you, as you look across these dots and measure the wear on them, these tires look absolutely perfect. We got the right front here, maybe just a little bit of wear on the inner edge of what should be the right rear right here. But if I'm a crew chief and I see this, I'm really happy with it. Softer tires, but look better than anything we've seen here in a long time.
Okay, so that is a great illustration right there of what the tires are doing today, Matt, and what Regan just showed us, and if you're watching the pictures at home, you would have seen it too. Matt, what Regan just showed us, the drivers and crew chiefs are thrilled. The fans are not.
Yeah, not so much. Not good from our perspective, perhaps. But that means we're going to have perhaps a little chaos. And talking of chaos, my bet has come in and it has gone away. William Byron now 2 laps down.
So Larson gets around Byron. This has been a nightmare for Rudy Fugle and William Byron, as Larson now will put the burner on the back of the Shane Van Gisbergen automobile and try to put him a second lap down, as we've got all kinds of traffic heading to you.
That was Zilich in front of Larson. But yeah, Hamlin in a bit of a hornet's nest here with Chastain. Cindric, Wallace, Chase Elliott still on those old shoes. Carson Hocevar picking his way through as well. Josh Berry making these tyres work, though he's staying in 4th place.
Jamie Little.
Call so far the car is good. You're just telling him that the guys that took tires can wrap the bottom a little bit better than he can on old tires.
Well, and again, with what Regan just showed us about the tires, maybe that gives crew chiefs more comfort in making these calls to stay out. But as I say that, Matt, on old tires, Chase Elliott is being swarmed.
Yeah, now we've got a bit further on the run with a different heat cycle through them because, of course, they would have cooled down under the yellow. Maybe Chase Elliott is now feeling the heat of all these cars around him on those old tyres. Hamlin and Wallace have got through, as has Cindric, and Chastain trying to find a way through as well. Next up behind is Chris Buescher. Elliott keeping on the high line through 3 and 4. and Chastain will eventually complete this move.
Elliott loads up a run off the top of 4. He and Chastain stay wheel-to-wheel into the corner, but Chastain is going to complete the pass. Tennessee native Chad Fincham from Knoxville, one of Seth's favorite places, has gone off the racetrack. He always runs Bristol in the 66 as it is his home track, but Fincham is behind the wall. Chastain did complete the pass on Elliott to take over the 11th position, so Elliott has fallen out of stage points territory here. Now the question is, how far will the Martinsville winner fall back before this stage caution comes? Because as he's across the line here, Matt, he's got Chris Buescher knocking on the back door.
Yeah, in 12th position at the moment. He slips up in the middle of turns 1 and 2. That will allow the Trimble number 17 to stick a nose underneath. Elliott fighting for all he's worth here on the outside, but Buescher is going to get through, not quite off of 4.
Daniel Suarez queues up in this line behind these two.
Yeah, and Zane Smith in the queue there as well. And then I think it's Ty Gibbs behind them in the second, the monster cars. Yes, indeed. And Buescher will now complete the pass off 4 on Elliott.
So Buescher moves up to the 12th position, and Elliott will try to come back at him, but probably not going to happen on those old tires.
9 to go. Kyle Larson clear at the front by just over 2 seconds on Chris Bell, as Suarez now going to try and get his way around Chase Elliott.
Ty Gibbs in the middle of this battle, along with the Aaron's Dream Machine of Zane Smith.
They're all under each other's footsteps here. They've Ty Dillon in the middle of this now as well, as he continues to be lapped for now a second time by these group of guys. Zane Smith almost got his nose chopped off by Chase Elliott off 4.
So Elliott really feeling the pressure from everybody as he nearly got squeezed into by Smith off of turn 2. Elliott about to fall outside the top 15. Gibbs sneaks by him on the inside of turn 4. Zane Smith would be next.
And this is not good for Elliott, as Gibbs does get through. Smith doesn't for the moment. Clearly the setup much better on the 21 here against old tyres to what Chase Elliott's got underneath him in the 9.
Meanwhile, at the front, Kyle Larson has 5 laps to go in this stage with a lead of north of 2 seconds on Christopher Bell. It's another 2 seconds back to Ryan Blaney 3rd. Josh Berry looks like the strategy is going to work out for the Wood Brothers team. He runs 4th. Chase Briscoe is 5th. Tyler Reddick, after his speeding penalty on pit road, currently runs in the 26th position. It looks like he might just escape this stage without losing a lap, because Kyle Larson is about 1 second back of Reddick. As we just had a change of 7th, Denny Hamlin getting around Carson Hocevar. Hocevar going to try to come back at him. That's for stage points. Stage points on the line here as Kyle Larson has 2 laps left in this opening stanza. As Hamlin fends off Hocevar, now goes after his driver Riley Herbst for 6th.
Yeah, has a look underneath at turn 2. We'll try to power out back to the leader as Kyle Larson goes on to the last lap of this first stage.
So Larson right behind Kyle Busch here. We'll see if he tries to put the 8-car lap down. Doesn't look like he'll try. He certainly doesn't need to. Kyle Larson off turn 4. Green and white checkered flag out. 51st career stage victory for Larson. He gets the 10 championship points in stage 1 at Bristol, with Christopher Bell coming across in 2nd. Ryan Blaney 3rd. Chase Briscoe 4th. Josh Berry holds on for 6 championship points, finishing 5th. Denny Hamlin 6th. Carson Hocevar 7th. Riley Herbst, Darrell Wallace Jr., and Austin Cindric rounding out the points-paying positions in Stage 1 here in Bristol. And Stage 1 thoughts from Seth Eaves.
Whether it be today or at the R&D offices, they're going to be looking at that 21 car, because how they held on to 4th, to a top 5 with no tires, with those older tires, I should say. There I go pulling them at. Would have been, it's going to be very interesting to for them to analyze. But yeah, the tire aspect, not exactly a good thing if you're a fan per se, and it's been processional-ish. You've had lap traffic, and you've had some bumping, but at the front, it is all Larson. But he was in control. We thought he was going to stink it up last night, and it turned out not only did he not stink it up, he didn't even win. That's what we call a tease. Who did win? You'll have to find out on the flip side at the end of the stage 2.
Yes.
As I get back to doing that.
Stage breaks are in order, and that means it's time for Matt to tell us about what has happened on this day in racing history. It is April the 12th. Matt, what do you got for us?
Yeah, thank you.
Despite,
happy anniversary to
other than,
Kevin
of
and
course,
Amanda
Kevin and Amanda being married.
on the big screen here at Bristol.
God.
Whoever they are, happy anniversary to them. April 12th, then, here are a couple of people that have got a birthday today. One of them, David Letterman. Happy birthday to him today. He's not on this list, but I did see that on Facebook earlier on today. Ryan Dial from the IMSA paddock, latterly. It's his birthday today, so the Scotsman. Happy birthday to him. Former Supercars driver Rodney Crick's birthday today. Ellen Law from the DTM back in the 90s. Happy birthday to her. Corrado Farby as well. Ray Mallock, touring car building legend here in the UK over many a year. And a former Grand Prix winner, Carlos Reutemann. It would have been his birthday today as well. Races that have happened on this day, the 12th of April, as you said. Last year, we were right here at Bristol, and Kyle Larson did win the Grand National Series race, the Sky Apps 300. The Long Beach Grand Prix, which is next weekend this year, but last year it was this weekend, if that makes sense. The IMSA race was won by Dane Cameron and Felipe Nasr for Porsche over there on the West Coast. Truck race at Texas in 2024, the Speed.com 250 was won by Kyle Busch in another of the bushwhacking races. Cole Custer got an Xfinity race win in 2019 at Richmond in the Toyota Care 250. In 2015, James Hinchcliffe won an IndyCar race at NOLA Motorsports Park.
Oh.
The only time they ever went there, I believe it was, the Indy Grand Prix of Louisiana. The Chinese Grand Prix earlier in that day at Shanghai was won by Lewis Hamilton. Kevin Harvick won a cup race at Darlington in 2014, the Southern 500 of that year. Who else have we got on this list? The Muscle Milk, I mentioned them earlier. They won the American Le Mans Series Long Beach race in 2012. Klaus Graf and Lucas Law, the drivers there. A1 Grand Prix on this list. We always have to highlight this when it comes around. In 2009, in its final season, they were at the Algarve International at Portimao. Robert Dornbos won the sprint race for Team Netherlands, Neil Yarni winning the feature race for Team Switzerland. And on that, the year before, 2008, we were at Phoenix for Cup. Jimmy Johnson winning the Subway Fresh Fit 500. A little bit further back in time, Michael Schumacher won the last, for this moment, Argentine Grand Prix in Buenos Aires for Ferrari back in 1998. Danny Sullivan won the Long Beach Grand Prix of 1992 on this day down there in Long Beach. Alain Prost, a Grand Prix winner in 1987 in Brazil at Rio de Janeiro at the Autodromo Nelson Piquet. Dale Earnhardt Sr. winning here at Bristol on this day in 1987, before it was the Food City 500, when it was the Valleydale Meets 500. And because we're at Bristol, we have to mention Darrell Waltrip, although these aren't wins at Bristol. 86 winner in the Grand National Series at Darlington, and 81 winner in the Cup race at Darlington. Final one, Nelson Piquet winning the Argentine Grand Prix of 1981. That completes the list for this week, the 12th of April.
Gets us in time for pit stops.
Right with that car and the 12 of Ryan Blaney, way looser landing that run and tighter in the center.
All of one pit report as Kyle Larson exits pit road in front of Christopher Bell, Chase Briscoe, Denny Hamlin,
I can
Barry,
give you a report.
hosts of our Blaney, Herbst, and Cendrick. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I can give you a report. Tyler Reddick's team is going to check their brakes.
Oh, God. What is it with brakes in this 45 team? My goodness. We hear about... Oh, another speeding
Christopher
penalty.
Bell speeding.
I am amazed at how often we talk about brakes, Matt, with these 2311 cars. Martinsville, Gateway, Bristol, New Hampshire, any heavy braking places. We're talking about 2311 brakes. Richmond, Phoenix.
Yeah. It's becoming a common thing. It just seems to be pretty much a weekly occurrence at the short tracks for them. So And they were back in the field anyway after that speeding penalty on the first round of pit stops for Reddick. So hopefully they can get that rectified and get him further back up through the order for our championship leader. Be a champion crowned with a golf club in their hand, Seth, this afternoon, and the leaderboard is shuffling.
It is, and it's not good if you're a Rory fan, although Cameron Young didn't exactly have a good shot a minute ago either. He leads at 11, but Matthew, Justin Rose is one off the lead.
Oh.
So we've got something, and speaking of which, I wish JT were here because this he could use potential out of context. Kyle Larson said that his car is stiff on the top. Well, as you know, being stiff on the top can be a big problem for some.
I mean, for some that's a problem. For others, not so much. But anyway,
Michael McDowell, Jonathan Nemechek, Zane Smith also got caught for also had penalties. Nemechek sped, McDowell sped, Smith equipment interference.
And if you're watching, you can see bottom right of your picture, the Super Booth is in play for the first time this year, which means Super Booth is on board for the first time in our new homes. Of course,
we're in our YouTube era.
We are in our YouTube era. Indeed, we are. And there you see us, bottom right of your screen. Matthew Owens, Matt White, Seth Eaves here with you. If you don't already know, I'll let you guess which one's Matthew, which one's Matt, and which one's Seth. But excited to be with you here as, boy, that first stage went by quick, Matt. 125 laps in basically 45 minutes.
Yeah, much like the Martinsville race a couple of weeks ago, that seemed to fly along. We might be on for another quick afternoon here. And as we have a moment, and you've mentioned our YouTube era, it's going to be a cool summer, guys.
Well, one half of that would be most appreciative. The other, not so much.
Well, it is going to be...
It's not a cool summer Bananarama. It's a cool summer.
Oh, and here we go into singing.
Here on my own.
We are now singing. Well, yes, it's going to be a terrific summer here on the channel, and we hope that you'll be with us as the World Cup will anchor so much of what we do in the summer, but also getting closer and closer to Wimbledon, the French Open, NBA playoffs. Well, the play-in tournament starts this Tuesday. Playoffs proper start Saturday. Stanley Cup playoffs start Saturday. We'll have the beef of the NASCAR season, of course. I mean, yeah.
And you can hear on the wind. I can just hear it on the wind quickly before this restart. Do 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 do. Not too far away from Indianapolis.
Yes, indeed. Chevrolet Corvette pace car set to pull off.
Doesn't take long, does it?
It does not. Getting ready for a restart to get stage 2 underway. Kyle Larson, the control car, outside of row 1. Denny Hamlin to his inside. Green flag back in the air. Stage 2 gets started.
Larson clears to the lead through the middle of 1 and 2. Hamlin will cut across his teammates' nose. Chase Briscoe to go to second. Side by side for fourth. Berry and Carson Hocevar continuing his strong start to the season.
Briscoe loads up a big run off the top of turn 4 and clears Hamlin for second.
He does, and Hamlin now will fall into the clutches of those guys behind. Berry now to the outside in the 21. That tyre call may have invigorated the race for Josh Berry this afternoon.
Yeah, he's going to get by Hamlin up to third, and now he's going to muscle it into turn 1 to the outside of Briscoe.
Didn't quite make the move. Stick had to go way up high in the middle of the corner. Perhaps will fall back into the clutches of Hamlin as they head to 3. Side by side behind them, Blaney and Hocevar.
Wow.
Oh, and touch off the floor between Hamlin and Berry.
They glanced off each other, kept it pointed the right direction.
Hocevar trying to squeak underneath Blaney as Hamlin gathers his thoughts for a moment behind the 21. Still side by side here for 5th between the 12 and the 77.
Blaney can't quite clear Hocevar, who keeps digging around on the bottom.
And we'll get clear, just not quite coming out of turn number 2. Blaney had the run on the higher line to keep them side by side, and they will stay side by side off 4.
And across the line, dead even in this battle for the 5th position, back to the corner.
Oh, Riley Herbst behind them had a bit of a wiggle. He had to get out of the throttle and fall into the clutches of his teammate, Darrell Wallace Jr. in the 23. Blaney smashes it in on the high side this time to try and get around Carson.
He's got a nose in front of him across the line as this battle for fifth carries on.
Still side by side. This time, Hocevar's got the advantage with the nose in front coming out of 2. And Blaney goes again on the higher line to try and swing it around the outside, but Hocevar prevails.
So Hocevar gets Blaney cleared for the 5th position as Larson continues to lead at the front of this field. From Briscoe, Barry, Hamlin, and a problem for Christopher Bell. Off the bottom of turn 2, Matt, he goes for a spin.
Gone for a spin, and he looks like he's got right rear damage to the 20. Maybe a glancing blow, maybe a toe link bent on the 20. Caution is out for last year's winner of this race in the fall. And after the speeding penalty, you get back there with the squirrels,
Yep.
and things happen to you. And let's see what did happen to the 20.
Seth, what happened here?
I think he might have just gotten a little bit too much momentum out of turn 4, nearly lost it there. Then he bounced off the wall and that thing just kept getting loose and finally spun her out. Todd Gilliland will be your free pass here. And Justin Rose is tied for the lead.
Wow. Connor Zilic with a great save going down to the apron to get around Bell. Yeah, you're right, Matt. He got up out of the groove. He jumped the cushion a bit too much, got loose off of 4. It wasn't hard contact with the right rear into the outside wall, but it was enough to break the toe link.
Yeah, and then send him spinning. Oh, Russell Henley just missing a putt to go tied for the lead as well. So it is all changing around at Augusta. There was, I didn't get to mention it before, there was a dramatic recovery from Justin Rose at the 6th a couple of holes ago from way in the trees. So that might come back to be replayed at some point if his round carries on the way it's going.
And bad news for Christopher Bell fans. He was on the radio. He said he thinks he broke the toe link.
Yep,
He thinks it's killed.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. Where did Russell Henley come from? Like, I don't exactly know. He has just popped up here. Playing with Scheffler today.
Hold up here. Macon, Georgia.
Now, which is nearby, of course. Wow, Justin Rose. My heart is with him.
Got the support of the home patrons.
Yes.
The barking patrons, because he's a University of Georgia grad.
My heart is with Rosie today. Twice he's played 72 holes here, and no one's been lower, but yet he hasn't won this thing. Losing in a playoff to Sergio and then last year to Rory, and my heart is with Justin. And now into a tie for the lead. Scheffler looms large, just 2 back as he heads to the second 9.
Hao Tong Lee just birdied the 9th, and he's now at 7 under, 4 off the lead, as this is, I believe Rose teeing off at 9.
So the leaders kind of splattered all around the course. You've got some on the back 9, but you've got McIlroy and Young, who were the last group off. They are at the 7th.
Pretty good golf shot by Rose.
And Tyrrell Hatton at this drivable par 5 15th, and he's above the hole and off the green at 15 as Hatton is still
you're ahead of me, so be slower next time.
Dramatically, I'm ahead of both of you.
We discovered that at the top before we went on. And Matt's like 30 seconds ahead of all of us. I don't know how that happens, but Seth will keep us updated on the golf, which is just a heck of a sentence from a few years ago that no one ever would have imagined would be said.
Again, 27 months ago, you thought I'd be talking golf and quoting Victor Newman. You're pretty rich right about now. About as rich as I am with all these damn companies that I own. But anyway. Edison Vanguard.
Yeah. No one.
Newman Enterprises. Not one single dollar.
By the way, for those that are with us and have been watching, we have hopefully settled the bit of a lag. We've had a little bit of a lag. We've changed some things behind the scenes, and hopefully we have that figured out, and we won't be Our audio's been fine, but the visuals have been freezing up a bit every now and again. Oh my goodness gracious, Young has missed that at 7, and now it is Rosie all alone in front.
Wow.
Oh,
Sunday at Augusta. I will say this: there is something about Sunday at Augusta. I mean, you just never know, do you?
no. It's one of the great sporting events. As we draw closer to the restart here, of course, as Matt mentioned, we are getting very close to one of the great sporting events next month, as we will bring you
6 weeks away.
Yeah, we will bring you for the first time on this medium in our YouTube era the Indianapolis 500. There is just nothing like the greatest spectacle in racing. We are only 42 days away, and we will bring you time trials. Something in the works, I'll just say. I don't want to tease too much until it's, set in stone. I'll give a bit of a tease here. There's something in the works that we might be bringing you Carburation Day 2. Carburation coverage, which would include...
So, does that mean the Wiener 500?
The Weenie 500 might be on here. You never know.
Yippee.
Well, I want JT on there if that's the case.
Getting ready for the restart with just under 100 laps to go in Stage 2. Kyle Larson, the control car, outside of row 1 to his inside. Josh Berry in the red and white livery for the Wood Brothers. Green flag goes back up into the air, and Larson takes off on the jump.
He will clear Berry and Briscoe as they go through turns 1 and 2. A little bit of free wide action going on there at the back of the field. Joey Logano was way out the queue but got back in. Larson leads off 4.
Larson clears turn 4 with the lead, and clearing for second is Chase Briscoe down across the nose of Berry.
Side by side behind those guys is Hamlin and Hocevar, the next dueling drivers. Wallace and Blaney next up behind them, but Larson a couple of car lengths clear out of 4 this time.
Double file from 4th on back. Hocevar to the inside of Hamlin. Behind those two, Wallace and Blaney wheel to wheel.
So first free single file, then that dueling foursome together. Hamlin up the track there coming out of turn 2. Lets Hocevar through and falls into the clutches of his teammate.
Oh, and Blaney loads up a big run off the top of turn 4. He shoots around Wallace and gets alongside Hamlin.
Yeah, indeed so. Coming out of 2, they will be side by side. Ryan Blaney with mid-corner speed. Who'd have thunk it? And he's going to try and make that work again in 4.
Two similarly colored cars here. Blaney in the white and black. Hamlin with the white and maroon.
Out of 2 they come. And Blaney again on the high side. The 11 and the 12, or the 12 and the 11, whichever way you want to decipher it. Blaney with a nose in front off 4.
Yeah, Blaney getting closer and closer to fully making this pass for the 5th position. Hasn't made it yet.
And Hamlin will now actually complete the pass coming out of 2. So he will get the position. This is for 5th. And now Wallace looking interested to try and go to the outside of Blaney, but thinks better of it.
That's the WrestleMania livery on the Darrell Wallace Jr. machine this weekend.
Next weekend, live from Las Vegas, from Allegiant Stadium. Meanwhile, 2 Penske cars side by side. Joey Logano and Austin Cindric. This is for 10th and 11th.
Mentioned earlier, 2 cars won here at Bristol a dozen times. Rusty Wallace did most of that winning. Keselowski won here 3 times in the Deuce. Dale Earnhardt won a couple of Bristol races in the number 2 car when he drove for Rod Osterland. His first career win came here as a rookie in 1979 in that Rod Osterland number 2 car. Cindric, and we've got trouble, big trouble off the top of turn 4. 4 cars go splattering into the wall. Shane Van Gisbergen is involved. He pulls away along with John Hunter Nemechek, Alex Bowman, and Todd Gilliland, and the caution comes out as it is a jam session off the top of turn 4. Alex Bowman making his return after missing the last handful of races. Into this, he gets swept up along with Nemechek, Van Gisbergen, and Gilliland. Yellow flies.
Alex Bowman has got left front damage. It looked maybe suspension-y. He's rolling on the racetrack, but looked very wobbly in the left front of the 48. Van Gisbergen came down pit road and then has now got back on the racetrack. Let's see what happened as we were focusing our eyes elsewhere. SVG's in front of the pack here. He's going to lose it in 3 and then self-cleaning, or in the reverse. Everyone went to the top and well, splat.
Well, that's 4 cars taken out. I mean, wow. 4-1 right there, Seth.
Yeah. That's a tough one. Bowman says he thinks he's got a nose damage, but front nose. SVG says the car's effed. So
Is that like Rudy
that
F?
yeah.
Googled. I think Todd Gillen actually fairly got away with that. He might have
I
just.
agree. I think you're right about that.
Mm.
I think you are right about that.
Caution out here at Bristol as we work.
Fenton is rejoining the race.
Okay, very good. So
We need to pick up some extra positions of these guys, reckon.
yeah, that's right. Bowman to pit road. They'll raise the hood on the Ally Chevrolet. Of course, we wish all the best to Alex Bowman, who has had health issues in the past. This is the 3rd time in the last 5 seasons that he will not run every race of the season, Matt. But you made the point when we were talking earlier this week. I mean, when you've experienced vertigo, is Bristol just about the worst possible place to come back to?
It seems. I mean, you're on a banking all the way around. 16-second laps, as we talked about at the top of the show, just go past like that. You hear my fingers clicking in the background. And then you get wiped out in an incident there, which wasn't your fault. Perhaps they should have waited maybe for him to come back next week at Kansas, but the doctors are giving him the all clear. And much like I said in my ones to watch, sportsman outdoing a doctor yet again. He's back in the car, but he's only got 160 odd laps into the race before we found incident, which is a shame.
And I mean, Seth, as far as the championship is concerned, I mean, Alex Bowman making the chase is.
Does, yeah.
I mean, what can you do, Seth, when you miss that many races?
I mean, Wolves have a better chance of staying in the Premier League than that happened. Let's be honest.
By the way, do we want to do a Premier League update from what happened earlier in the day at the Stadium of Light?
Yeah. I don't know who will take more joy in it. I'm surprised. I thought of the 3 of us, I would be the one that would be taking the most joy in this, but apparently Mr. White is getting a good chuckle out of it as well. Which, all
I want is Tottenham Hotspur to go to Lincoln next season as a league game.
Yeah. That would be crazy. Now, apologies to the both of you, and apologies to the fan police. Not exactly overly upset we shipped in 3 today to Man City, and I'll leave it at that.
So we had this conversation with Jack on Friday night during the truck race, the big Tottenham fan, don't you know?
Oh, yeah, that darn Jack Owl.
Yeah, and he says all the season is about rooting against Arsenal. And I thought, are you sure? Aren't you rooting for your team to stay up?
Well, my thing is, if I can get an Arsenal choke and a Tottenham relegation, that would send me through the summer. It really would.
I was gonna say, Arsenal are rooting against themselves at the moment. They don't need anyone else to help after their loss yesterday.
I mean, sheesh. By the way, real quick, and the 3 goals from City, very important, because I read somewhere, if City win out and Arsenal win every game but the City game, they're going to be level on 85 points, and you two know about going to goal difference with Manchester City. Whoa!
Wow!
Whoa! Pace car hit something.
Big piece,
Matt, that's your way.
That's a big chunk of rubber.
I was talking to Matt White, not Matt Owens. Anyway.
Yes, that is.
Oh, Rosie!
For those of you that are new here. For those of you that are new here, when the 3 of us together, we do then have to differentiate between the 2. So I become Matthew, and Matt becomes, well, he stays Matt.
Rose just birdied. He's got 3 birdies in a row. He has a 2-stroke lead.
Rose.
And somehow now you're in front of me. So
God's sake.
I'm not sure how that's happened.
Real quick. Ross Chastain's team was worried about a voltage issue, but they think it's good now. The Dirty Mo Boy reported that on PRN, Matthew. You can fill in the blanks on that one. Also, AJ Allmendinger says his feet feel like they're on fire.
Oh, wow.
But what's interesting, AJ says it's not the floorboard that's hot, it's the pedals that are scorching him.
AJ Allmendinger, Matt, has always been great here at Bristol. 3 top 10s and 27 starts.
For God's sake. Yeah. Okay. You might finish top 10 at Watkins Glen in a few weeks' time as well.
Everyone will pick him.
Yeah, they will.
AJ...
You say everyone. One prominent NASCAR media member will pick him.
One prominent NASCAR media member will talk about how AJ Allmendinger is a Watkins Glen legend, and he's, he'll qualify 4th and fade to 7th and finish 12th. But remember, he's great at Bristol. 3 top 10s, 27 starts. Anyway, hate to hear that about his feet. You know what AJ's actually great at is finding the weirdest ways to get overly hot in the car.
Well, yes, we've seen that multiple times, haven't we? So,
just
Toto not so long ago.
Doubled up for the restart. And it will be
We're going to get back to covering the race here really soon.
I think we might. we might try. Kyle Larson again will be the control car, and as he has done every time he's been the control car, he chooses the outside to restart on. Josh Berry will be to his inside. Chase Briscoe lines up in row 2 alongside Carson Hocevar. And the Chevrolet Corvette pace car again hits the flat apron to pit road, and the green flag flies again, and Larson on the jump takes off as he has done all day.
And again, we'll clear the guys behind him as they head towards 1 and 2. It is again Briscoe and Berry side by side for second. Berry has the nose in front heading towards turn 3. Carson Hocevar trying to keep Denny Hamlin behind for 4th place.
Side by side at second. Briscoe loads up a run around the top of turn 4, and by the time he gets back to 1, he's clear.
He is as they come out of 2. So it's Larson by about a second or so from Briscoe, Berry, Hocevar, Wallace, and it's Hamlin on the inside with Blaney coming around the outside.
Wow, Blaney, a huge run off the top of 4 to clear Hamlin. 3 wide further back with Kyle Busch around the top of everyone.
Watch out back here. Ryan Preece, Riley Herbst, Daniel Suarez in the middle of this, Zane Smith as well in the Hornet's Nest back here in the teens and 20s. Meanwhile, Blaney continuing the hot run. He goes around Wallace coming down the front straight away, and we'll try and continue it further, trying to get around Hocevar.
Yeah, I tell you, Blaney sends it around the top, and I mean, he sends it. He does not let off the throttle, but now he's got Carson Hocevar blocking him up there. Blaney off of turn 4, gets alongside Darrell Wallace Jr. behind them. Joey Logano stuffs it to the inside of Denny Hamlin, and they nearly touch.
And out of the corner, Logano will try to clear. They'll a little bit of a rub down the back straightaway between them. Hamlin will keeping it wound up on the outside, trying to keep the position.
Logano and Hamlin dueling for 7th back into 1.
The 2 old stagers. And Logano again on the inside. This is full 7th position. As you say, he now does clear Denny coming out of turn number 2.
I did miss this from the international feed when this is the only shot you get for moments of time. Looking back at the driver tells you absolutely nothing, but Logano does clear Hamlin to take over 7th. Now Hamlin might be falling into the grasp of Austin Cindric back at the 8th and 9th positions. Here's Hamlin coming right back after Logano through 3 and 4 as they both climb the banking. Further back, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Brad Keselowski, Matt. They're together again.
2 ones to watch. They've touched each other already at least once today that we've seen, which has resulted in the first caution of the day. And Keselowski trying to make a move around the outside. Chase Elliott still mired in traffic. He's changed tyres, but he's still not making any progress forward.
Yeah, surprising to see Gibbs, Elliott, and Reddick so far in traffic here.
And Elliott right to the back bumper of Ty, who just got cut off by Chastain coming out of 2. Elliott goes way up the racetrack, and that leaves the door open for Tyler Reddick.
All of this happening outside the top 10.
Yeah, Noah Gragson in the top, just outside the top 10. Noah Gragson in the top 10 at the moment, as you can see by the timing and scoring tower, as Gibbs now trying to make a move on Ross. Meanwhile, Logano after Wallace.
Yeah, and he's going to shoot it in around the top of turn 1, Logano, the very top.
Yeah, way up against the wall, trying to make his own line through there. Gives Wallace a bit of a bump in the middle of the back straightaway with the momentum he had coming off the top side.
Oh.
In front of these guys, a change of position.
Ryan Blaney cannonballs his way past Carson Hocevar.
Penske turning into a strong day at the moment. Their affiliate car is third, Blaney fourth, Logano seventh, and Austin Cindric ninth. Good day for the captain so far.
Just the kind of race that Team Penske needs, because it has been a difficult start to the season for the Penske Brigade. Meanwhile, Ty Gibbs off the bottom of turn 2 tries to clear up in front of Noah Gragson to take over 10th. He does, so Gibbs etches his name into the top 10. Let's follow the back end of the top 10 back into 1.
This is Wallace in 7th with his team boss behind him, Denny Hamlin in the 11 in 8th. And then Cindric and Gibbs, as you mentioned. We look back from Joey Logano's number 22 Pennzoil car.
And as Seth Eaves mentioned earlier, Chad Fincham is back on the racetrack, but he is way off the pace, and he might be about to get lapped again. He's 71 laps down here is Fincham, and the leaders are starting to catch him quickly. And as we change screens for you, we'll also show you that Alex Bowman has gone behind the wall, so too is Shane Van Gisbergen. John Hunter Nemechek did go behind the wall, but is quickly back out. 29 laps down is Nemechek. So those three that took heavy damage in that recent crash, 2 of them behind the wall, and 1 is 30 laps down. What you got, Seth?
A birdie at 16 is 4th straight birdie. Tyrrell Hatton 2 off the lead.
Tyrrell Hatton making a run for the green jacket, which Matt White had a take about earlier. We might get to that a little bit later. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. We'll get into it a little bit later. Kyle Larson leads by a 2 1/4 on Chase Briscoe. Ryan Blaney has climbed up to 3rd. He is riding a rocket ship. And actually, what's interesting about Ryan Blaney's car, we always talk about him being the guy that has the great long-run speed. I think that 12 car is really taking off quickly at the start of these runs today, Matt.
Yeah, it seems to be perhaps flipped for today, but we really haven't had that much of a long run either, so interesting to see. We had a green flag pit stop cycle at Martinsville 2 weeks ago. It'd be interesting to see if we get one of those here later on today as this race progresses. Here is battle just outside the top 10. We mentioned Noah Gragson a little while ago. He's just been passed by Chase Elliott.
And I just mentioned Chad Fincham being lapped by the leaders, and now guys outside the top 10 have caught up to him.
Yeah, indeed so. And Reddick getting through on that 66. Just behind them, the 1 and the 17, Chastain. He'll get caught up behind Chad here. And that'll leave the door open for Chris Buescher to slide through.
So Buescher slips through, picks up that 14th position. Brad Keselowski also on the scene. Oh! It almost happened again!
Stenhouse and Keselowski, that was cigarette paper stuff between those two guys coming out of turn 2 as they all try and find their way around the slow 66.
A.J. Allmendinger now having to maneuver his way through along with Ryan Preece.
Todd Gilliland running the outside there of Preece. Now we see what was happening to Christopher Bell. He's had his trouble so far today, trying to get around Austin Dillon. And they're just in front of Zane Smith and Daniel Suarez.
Yeah, and Bell finds himself 4 laps down after his troubles earlier. So Christopher Bell, running 4 laps down in the 33rd position, is the driver that came into this race 5th in the championship standings. Ryan Blaney on the move again, and he gets very close to the bumper of Chase Briscoe in a battle for 2nd.
Yeah, if there wasn't contact there, it was very close, and Briscoe gives it up and gave Blaney the inside there in turns 1 and 2, and lets the 12 slide by. So change of 2nd, car 12 up to P2.
Let me correct myself. 7th in the championship standings coming in today for Bell, and it doesn't look like he's going to get a good finish. And it's going to be more points trouble for the 20. We talked earlier, and we said we would talk about this at some point through the race, and now's the time, Matt. Chase Briscoe was in the Championship 4 last year. Of course, there is no such thing as the Championship 4 anymore, but a lot of people looked at Chase Briscoe as a guy that could really contend for this championship this year in year 2 with JGR. The start to the season has been uneven, and that's putting it nicely. He's 21st in the championship standings. He's 222 points behind Tyler Reddick. That number really is not the number that matters to that 19 team right now. The one that does matter is how far he's behind Daniel Suarez, who is the last driver in the provisional chase, and that number is 36 points coming into today.
Yeah, long way still to go, of course, with you factor in all the stage points that could be scored between now and the end of August. There's still plenty of time for Briscoe to get himself back in, but as you say, they've had fast but fragile number 19s so far this early portion of the year. So hopefully that little off week has given them a bit of a reset and chance to turn their season around. A little quick update from another sort of story we were talking about earlier on. William Byron is still 2 laps down. I believe he's actually just gone 3 laps down.
Just has not been there for this 24 team all weekend long. A reminder, if you're new to the channel, you like what you see, you like what you hear, be sure to hit the subscribe button, the notification bell to get notified anytime we go live and upcoming events. This week, we'll have NBA play-in tournament action starting in the middle of the week. The Stanley Cup playoffs start next Saturday. NBA playoff proper also starts next Saturday. NASCAR next weekend heads to Kansas City, one of the more entertaining racetracks on the circuit, that 1.5 mile cookie cutter, if you will, in the middle of the country. We'll have the action in the Advent Health 400 next Sunday, and we'll also next Sunday have IndyCar's Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach. That is at 5:30. That race continues to go deeper and deeper into the day every single year. It seems they're going to run that race under the lights eventually, which is quite incredible. And also on the channel as we speak right now, Seth, can you believe we're saying this? The 100th and possibly final regular season meeting between Sidney Crosby and Alex Ovechkin. That's on the channel as we speak. The Penguins and the Capitals.
Wow. End of an era. The Brady Manning of our time in a hockey land.
Gosh.
I tell you.
It's been going on for 20 years. They've met 100 times now in the regular season with today. And, of course, a lot of talk about will Ovechkin be back next year. Of course, the Capitals still trying to get into the playoffs. That doesn't seem overly likely, but they are still mathematically alive. So be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Leave us a comment as well. We'll try to get to them as the day goes on, as always. And the line in the bio of our YouTube channel is there is no off-season. At the Ultimate Sports Media Network, and there truly isn't. And our Ultimate Sports team does not take a breath as we race out of the March Madness and back into the NASCAR beat. This has been a good one so far here today, closing into the halfway point. Kyle Larson and Ryan Blaney certainly seem to be the by far the best cars here. And, of course, this racetrack does change a lot as the race goes on, so it could change with over 280 laps still left, but certainly looks like Blaney and Larson have the field covered. But, as Matt mentioned, green flag pit stops. We won't have any in this stage. They can make it to the end of this stage. But when we get to that 250-lap final stage, if it stays green like it has through much of this race, we could get green flag stops here. And green flag pit stops, when they happen at Bristol, and that used to never happen. Now they've become a little bit more in line with the proceedings here, but they can be confusing. You go around this track in 15, 16 seconds. You have 2 pit roads. It's easy to get dizzy around this racetrack. You only have to enter during green flag stops where your pit road is, and we've seen I remember 2004, Seth, 2003 and 2004. I've seen Bill Elliott, Jeff Gordon, Mark Martin. I mean, greats of the sport. Get that confused. Green flag pit stops, they came down on the wrong side of pit road under green and just lost tons of time. So you can't make a mistake like that today.
Yeah. You absolutely cannot. Absolutely cannot. So McElroy and Young, birdies at 8, so they're 1 off of Rose. Scheffler about to have a birdie putt at 11 to get him to 10 under, and that's going to be wide.
Also keeping you updated with the Masters, of course, today, as the final round is underway in Augusta. By the way, an ad for the Texas race weekend just came across, and that's only a couple of weeks away, and here's a new one for you. Texas, the track that would not let go of 500-mile cup races around that track. Guess what they've done? They've added mileage to their O'Reilly Auto Parts race coming up in a couple of weeks. That is now being called the Andes Frozen Custard 340.
Why? What was it before? 300?
300, yes.
Let's just make it 350.
I've never once heard of a race ending in 340. But with that said, if anyone needs a If anyone needs, I guess, a nudging along to go to an Andy's Frozen Custard, our guy Seth Eaves could be the guy to tell you all about Andy's, which I've never been to.
You better believe that.
I've never been to, which is a shame. Enough with the frozen custard. How about the hot racing on the racetrack, Matt? Leaders are coming together if, Fox want to show it.
Well, change of fourth position to tell you about quickly. Carson Hocevar's got around Josh Berry. Here are the leaders in traffic. Zane Smith and Riley Herbs just in front of Kyle Larson and the on-rushing Ryan Blaney.
Blaney got held up on the exit of Turn 2 by Zane Smith just a bit, but Blaney is coming, and he's coming quickly. Leaders up out of Turn 4 and across the line. It's 2 car lengths, the deficit for Blaney.
Into one they come. Herbs trying to stay up out of the groove in turns 1 and 2, but now will be in front of Larson heading back towards 3. And Larson will just about clear him off of 4, not quite.
Larson struggling to get around Herbst, and that's only going to help the 12 car.
Yeah, Blaney is there, ready to pounce if something was to go wrong in front of him. Larson's still struggling to get around the 35, and will now just about clear him this time off 4.
Herbst has regressed back to the mean, it would seem, after his great start, Matt. He's now a lap down in 26th.
Yeah, that's generally where we would sort of see him-ish, so good qualifying effort from the 35, and was, second or third on the first lap. But now, as you say, fallen a lap down, and Blaney's going to put a lap on him as well.
Kyle Larson continues to lead. He's led over 1,000 laps in his Bristol career. Only one of only 4 active drivers to lead over 1,000 laps here at Bristol, and he's adding many, many more to that today. In fact, he could get to the 2,000 lap-led mark at Bristol today if he leads, 248 laps. Fight, Matt, your way off of 2 for 5th.
Yeah, Denny Hamlin trying to get around Josh Berry. And up on the high line, this time in 3 and 4, and will clear him. So Hamlin up to 5th.
So Hamlin to 5th. Berry backslides to 6th, but it has been a great first half of this race for the Wood Brothers team. Wood Brothers last winning here at Bristol with Elliott Sadler in this race a quarter century ago, if you want to feel old. 2001, Seth, the day where Sadler and Andretti finished 1-2 in the 21 and 43 cars.
Yeah, and Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart had to come together after the race as well. That was quite the day. And yes, 25 years ago, 2001. Oh God, you keep bringing up those ramages. The next time I come to the Super Booth, I'm gonna be up in a cane.
Battle for the lead tightens up in 2.
Larson now on the high side. And Blaney right to his tail. They're about to come up upon Daniel Suarez as he tries to battle to stay on the lead lap. They'll be side by side for the lead this time off of 4.
Blaney on the bottom. Can't get alongside Larson on the straightaway. He'll try again in the next set of corners.
This is not helping Larson at the moment as they head back towards 3. And Suarez sticking to the bottom. And will now hold Blaney up, and Larson will have the run.
Denny Hamlin is still on the move. Off turn 4, he angles his way to the inside of Carson Hocevar for 4th.
They'll be close heading into 1. Larson now clearing Suarez almost as they head through 3. Should have that done by the time they complete those corners. Hamlin does get the move done on Hocevar for 4th place, and Carson has a wiggle in turn 3.
Yeah, Hocevar bobbled big time in the middle of the corner, so not only will he lose 4th to Hamlin, Josh Berry might take 5th away from him. Further back, Noah Gregson has been up towards the front most of the day. He's in a wad of traffic with Elliott, Keselowski, and Reddick.
Yeah, and then Reddick has got Buescher and Priest. Well, he's even complete in the middle of all of the RFK cars here is Tyler Reddick.
Meanwhile, up towards the front, stage win on the line here as we have, now 17 laps to go, 18 laps to go here in stage 2 at Bristol. Kyle Larson by half a second ahead of Ryan Blaney. 4 seconds back to 3rd place running Chase Briscoe. Denny Hamlin and Carson Hocevar rounding out the top 5 as Hocevar has been able to hold off Berry. Alex Bowman has been released from the infield care center.
Finish the race, but it's kind of outside of our control. When you run that bad, stuff can happen, and it happened to us. So move on to Kansas. Another should be good racetrack for us. This one should have been too, but it's the way it works out sometimes. We'll go try again next week.
Glad to see you're back.
Thanks.
Glad to see him back, but unfortunate to see Bowman out of the race so early. Another change of position, Matt, which involves Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, the National Debt Relief Camry's on the march here, up in a third position, just passing his teammate. You mentioned that there's just about 12 or 13 laps to go. Seems like a lot, but not at Bristol. That is, in terms of time, that is 5 minutes maybe to get to the end of the race. So not a lot of time at all if Blaney wants to get this stage victory away from Kyle Larson.
Not even that long. 4 laps a minute we click off here. 15, 16-second laps. Larry McReynolds with a word, perhaps.
This is another one, Kevin. It's really come on strong.
Perhaps not. As we carry on, Brad Keselowski trying to break his way into stage points territory, running in the 11th position here, recovering from an earlier spin, is Keselowski in the orange, black, and silver, number 6 for RFK Racing. Can we try to hit up Larry one more time?
Spend the first 2 stages getting there.
He's at a 1/10.5 to 2/10 faster than most of the 4 or 5 cars in front of him. Larry, what do you got?
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk on a lot of different radios about Denny Hamlin in this 11 car because he was one of the first ones a number of laps ago to really move to the top in 1 and 2. And they've been saying, if you're going to run the top, you got to get in the top. You can't be down in the middle. You got to be up in that black. That's what Denny's been doing.
All right.
And it's not surprising to see that now that we're just about halfway through this race, this is basically a 2-line racetrack, Matt. You want to either be right at the very bottom, all 4 tires in that PJ1 traction compound, or you want to be right at the top. To the point that Larry just made, you don't really want to be in the middle.
No, it's a bit no man's landy in the middle there, isn't it? So we've seen a couple of people get caught out in that position so far today as the leaders come back together again, still trying to fight their way past Daniel Suarez while we were looking elsewhere. He is hanging on mightily here. He's just been passed by Larson, but he's trying to stay in the lucky dog position as Larson comes out of 4 behind Austin Dillon.
Suarez has proven the last couple of years to not be the easiest guy to get a lap on, and Suarez still is holding up a couple of these leaders at the front. Kyle Larson today, mentioned how many laps he's led here at Bristol for his career. Already today, Matt, he's crossed over 1,000 laps led at Bristol in the next-gen era. That hasn't been very long.
No, that's very true, and he has big numbers here, and a lot, the last era of car wasn't so kind to him. Don't forget, there was a lot of talk about Kyle Larson being terrible on short tracks in that portion before he joined Hendrick, so it's all changed around for him. Here's Carson Hocevar. He's just got around Chase Briscoe for 4th here as we line ourselves up for this end of stage. 5 to go.
Larson still struggling in lap traffic. He gets held up in turn 4 by Austin Dillon. Suarez comes ripping around the outside of Larson as Blaney gets closer.
And Larson will get back in front of Suarez coming out of 2, but Suarez really holding on strong here on the outside. This might open the door up for the 12.
Back across the line, Larson still elbow to elbow with Suarez, with Blaney watching it all.
And Larson will clear Suarez this time out of 2. Yes, he will. Almost. Suarez continues to hold on. There's no threat from behind from anyone else. It's going to be these 2 for the stage win.
Blue and white number 5, white and black number 12, battling for the stage victory, and further back a battle for the final stage point. Austin Cindric versus Brad Keselowski. They are tight together at 10th, but we follow the battle for the lead because there's a big wave of traffic ahead of the leaders. Larson finally clears Suarez. 2 to go in the stage. Suarez comes back at him, though.
And Larson will clear him again out of 2. He just leaves him enough room for Suarez will have momentum. Blaney sitting there waiting to see if anything falls into his lap. Last lap of the stage.
Suarez trying hard to not have to use the free pass. Here comes Blaney after Larson.
Had a sniff, but got caught in that middle that we were just talking about between other cars. And he will try and follow Suarez around the outside to see if he can nick a stage victory. He will not have the run. Kyle Larson sweeps the stages at Bristol.
52nd career stage win for Larson. He gets it done by 1/10 of a second over Ryan Blaney, who finishes 2nd here in the stage. But it's Larson who gets both green and white checkered flags today, trying to get his first black and white checkered flag of the season. The reigning series champion with 20 championship points in his pocket so far today. Rest of the points paying positions from 3rd on back: Hamlin, Hocevar, Briscoe, Barry, Gibbs, Logano, Wallace, and Cindric. That's the end of stage 2, and we're halfway home in the Food City 500. That means there's just half the race to run And it also means it's time for Seth Eaves to give us a hot lap on what has gone on elsewhere in the world of racing this weekend.
Hope I know how to do this. It's been a while.
It's been 5 months.
Yeah, 5 months. Indeed. Well, we'll start with the Grand National race last night, the Suburban Propane 300. Well, last night, stop me if you've heard this one before, it was a Grand National race that was won by Connor Zilisch, now acting as the role of Leach these days. Zilisch won a thrilling late laps duel with Kyle Larson and Brent Cruz. Larson led 230 of the 300 laps, but he had to settle for second behind Zilisch. Brent Cruz finished in third with Justin Allgaier and Carson Kvapil rounding out the top 5. The series point standings, Allgaier 130 points up on Sheldon Creed. Then it's Jesse Love, Corey Day, and Carson Kvapil. Rest of the top 12, Austin Hill, Sammy Smith, Brandon Jones, Parker Retzloff, William Solowich, Rajah Caruth, and Taylor Gray, who's 22 points ahead of Ryan Sieg in the race to make the chase. Sam Mayer among those currently below the cut line. Interesting stuff. Matthew mentioned it. Friday night's Craftsman Truck Series Tennessee Army National Guard 250 was indeed wild, which included a collision between Christian Eckes and Corey Heim that cost Heim a chance at 3 wins in a row. When it was all said and done, it was a completion of Leach weekend. One of 7 Cup guys that entered in that race won it. Christopher Bell had just 63 laps, but he got the victory. Chandler Smith, Gio Ruggiero, Ross Chastain, and Christian Eckes, the top 5. Eckes led a race high 132 laps. Chandler Smith is the series point leader by a point over Aiden Honeycutt. Corey Heim is third in points, or tied for third. You can draw your own conclusions on that. Then it's Lane Riggs, then Eckes, Ruggiero, Majeski, Rhodes, Garcia, and Haley, the current top 10 in the Truck Series points, though Friesen is technically, I guess, 10th in the chase standings because Heim's not running the full season. But it's Friesen 3 clear of Ankrum if you're keeping up with it that way. The Cars Tour Series ran at the Nashville Fairgrounds last night. Everybody got their panties twisted up because Dale Earnhardt Jr. was in the race. Well, he didn't win, but one of his drivers did. Caden Kvapil. Yes, there is another Kvapil to keep your eye on. Caden Kvapil got the victory in that race last night in Music City, USA. Also last night, the ARCA West Series ran the Tucson 150. Cole Denton led 127 of the 150 laps. He won from Trevor Huddleston, Eric Johnson Jr., Robbie Kienle, and Gavin Ray. Update for pit stops, or you want to keep going?
Yeah, Kyle Larson a bit stutter step out of his pit box, and he and Denny Hamlin are going to be side by side all the way to the front stretch pits. Ryan Blaney, Chase Briscoe, Ty Gibbs, and Austin Cindric among those pitting on the front side of pit road.
Balance is really good for him right now. It's tough for him to keep the rears underneath him on entry, though.
Going to be a drag race here to the line on who wins the race off pit road between Larson and Hamlin. It's going to be Larson by a nose, and Ryan Blaney loses a ton of spots on pit road again. That has been a story with that 12 team all season long. Their pit crew is ranked outside the top 25 in pit crew rankings this season, and Blaney just lost about 4 positions. We'll reset the running order for you, and, well, we don't have to do that anymore because it's on your screen. So we don't have to do that for you, but Seth, continue on.
Just one other event, Buddy Kofied swept the World of Outlaws weekend at the I-55 Raceway in Peevely, Missouri. So, great win there. Roth Motorsports now on a 3-race World of Outlaws win streak. The last time that happened when it was Danny the Dude Lasowski who did it back in March 2000. And that is a reminder that next week we're in Kansas. Yoo-hoo, Toto, we're in Kansas. Bill Self staying. Flory Badunga is not. But anyway,
No, he's not.
Travis Kelce, unfortunately, is also staying in that area. But getting ready for some overpriced wedding, I understand. That's ridiculous. We've got people starving all over the world. Anyway,
Now, come on.
So anyway,
come on,
you know
Matt.
the drill. You want to go to a race, IndyCar at Long Beach as well next week? Call up the tracks, ticket offices, or do it online. They'll be more than happy to get you help get you set up for a great weekend of racing. Go to a race, you will not regret it. A unique, once-in-a-lifetime experience. Matthew, back to you in the tower.
Thank you. Well,
actually, I'm in the tower,
yeah.
So back to the left.
Back across the desk. Come on, Matt. I know.
Yes.
I know you got something, Matt. So, what did I see earlier this week? Something happening at the Kimi Ring, won by somebody from Finland, I'm sure. Like, come on.
Oh no, that was me in catch-up mode watching some rallycross from last year. As my trawl through.
Now, hold on here. Now, while we're under caution, because I'm going to forget it, what's this green jacket take?
Oh, yes. Okay. Okay, Matt, come on.
That's where I thought you were about to go with that, to be honest.
Okay, go on.
As McElroy has a great approach at the 10th, it's perhaps the worst trophy in all of sport. I get the history, get the prestige, but as an item, it's no claret jug.
All I know is that he obviously has not seen the trophy for the Birmingham Bowl, which is literally the bare butt cheeks of a Roman emperor or something like that. That's a pretty bad. Wow.
Green jacket.
Well, all I'll say is, Matt, you will not be welcome to Augusta, Georgia with that tape. And that will no doubt
be one of the patrons.
Spanning there, Mike.
Now, see, I've got
I'll try and take my phone in as well.
Now, see,
what did you say? I'm sorry?
So I'll try and take my phone in with me as well.
Yeah.
Now, see, I've got my green on today. I've been wearing green all week. Wore green last night for the hockey. Got my green on today. Let's see, now, for some high school girls, on Wednesdays you might wear pink, but on Masters weekend I wear green.
Change of the lead. Justin Rose has just dropped a shot at 11. So we said McElroy might be out of it. He's back to the tie of the lead.
Just as long as you are not in front of a green screen.
No, can't be in front of a green screen wearing green. That's right. Speaking of green, we're about to get the green flag to get the final stage of the Food City 500. We like Segways around here. If a Segway company wants to sponsor us, yeah, Seth might fall off of them, but if you want to sponsor us, give us your money. Chevrolet Corvette pace car comes to pit road, and here's Kyle Larson off the top of row one. Green flag up into the air. Larson gets another great jump.
Yeah, aided by the fact that Chase Briscoe got a poor one on the inside, so Larson will lead away out of two. Denny Hamlin slides in the second position ahead of Briscoe. Joey Logano trying to roll up around the outside with his teammate Ryan Blaney behind him.
Larson and Hamlin first and second across the line, double file from third on back.
Hamlin leading, but then it's Gibbs versus Penske for the rest of the top 5 and 6. Carson Hocevar, the next non-Gibbs or Penske car, in 7th. A bit further behind them, Reddick, Gregson, Elliott, Keselowski all in a bit of a hornet's nest.
Tyler Reddick makes a slice to the inside of Josh Berry for 9th.
Does indeed so. Here's Chase Elliott trying to fend off Keselowski. A bit further in front of them, Reddick now to the inside of Berry, coming out of 4.
Meanwhile, Ryan Blaney already trying to charge up after losing all those spots on pit road, Matt. He's up to 6th.
Up to 6th indeed, and trying to move further forward. Just in front of him, Joey Logano on the outside of Ty Gibbs, using the diamond route round 3 and 4.
Actually, Blaney just lost 6th. Carson Hocevar gets around him.
Well, Hocevar's had a strong day through the first half of this race so far, trying to continue that on. As Austin Cindric and AJ Allmendinger got to contact there in the middle of the back straightaway.
Yeah, those two had a coming together, and Chris Buescher's going to take advantage and pass both.
Todd Gilliland recovering after his incident earlier on in the mix here too, and he's going to round up all of them on the outside. And here comes Austin Dillon to try and join the party too.
A.J. Allmendinger with a little rat-a-tat-tat to the back bumper of that Austin Cindric automobile. Chastain, Dillon, and Suarez all in the middle of this.
Not been a good day for the rear bumper of Austin Cindric today in the virtual world and in real life too. And A.J. Allmendinger gets around Cindric, for those that saw our intro to the show. Here is Logano now, fending off Hocevar for 5th.
And Ryan Blaney just in behind this as he tries to make up ground. Blaney did just go off a little bit on his pit crew on the radio. He just said that we can't lose that many positions every time we come to pit road. But, Matt, that's been a theme of the season for that 12 team.
Yeah, it's been one of the perennial sort of bylines of the season. It happened to him twice or maybe 3 times at Darlington a couple of weeks back. Here's a replay. What are we seeing here? This is Hocevar getting into the back of Joey Logano, who cut down in front of him into turn 3, and Carson moved him out of the way.
Don't tell me the bump and run is dead. Everybody says the bump and run here at Bristol's dead, just like Cinderella's dead in the NCAA tournament. Hocevar seemed to do it pretty well right there. Everybody just lost their minds last fall when Keselowski couldn't move Bell out of the way, even though he hit him square on the bumper. And now everybody's freaking out right now that you can't do a bump and run at Bristol. But those same people would have been screaming and yelling and bitching and whining if he had moved him out of the way. Well, that's not the way you should win races. Blaney rattles around the outside and passes Hocevar for 6th.
Matthew Owens' rant of the day brought to you by Powell's Sudden Service.
Actually, our rant of the day will be presented soon, I hope, by Cliff Dominic's Segway House, hopefully.
Okay, that's a new one.
It's brand new, just made it up.
Wow, you are. Wow, see, and you say you're not good. You are. You are a professional. No, I would say ball knower. You are a professional everything knower. I feel like.
Well, you never know. I know a little about not much. But
Cameron Young with a birdie to make it a 3-way tie at the top, and it's gonna be well short and a little. Actually, ends up going wide. But you have 6 separated by 2 shots here. Wow. This is getting good.
Wow, my goodness! If it's a 3-way battle, if it's a 3-way tie for the lead, then you got to break out in song. It's gonna be 3. Ryan Blaney still trying to run down Ty Gibbs for the 4th position.
3 for Dale, you idiot.
Oh, thank you. Chase Elliott's day, Matt, that went south when Alan Gustafson left him out on old tires earlier, and he's just been mired in this traffic ever since.
Yeah, and again, good job Alan Gustafson is not on social media, because the messages would have been flying his way if they were. Worked out for them 2 weeks ago, didn't quite work out for them today. Still a long, long way to go, though. Things could change, and he's under attack from Todd Gilliland and Brad Keselowski at the moment for 14th position.
Matt, what are you trying to say about Chase Elliott fans on social media?
Everyone doesn't like crew chief calls. And they don't go their driver's way. Not just Chase Elliott fans.
Well, but Chase Elliott fans, Tennessee fans, Georgia fans, senior fans, NASCAR fans, we're getting them all in today, aren't we?
Well, we're trying. We've been away for a few weeks. We got to catch up on lost time. 30 laps complete in the final stage of the Food City 500. We have 220 laps to go. Here in Bristol, Kyle Larson has led the majority of the way. His lead on Denny Hamlin is about 0.6 of a second. We are back into the stages of the time of the run where Larson will be catching some lap traffic once again, and he will have to maneuver his way through. Seth?
Do have to butt in real quick. Terrell Hatton with a par at 18. He has finished with a 66 on the day. He's got a long wait to see if he'll be sticking around for a playoff or not. He finishes at 10 under. One off the lead.
Course record of 63 could be in play today, set by Nick Price on Saturday of 86 and Greg Norman again in 96, and that was not on Sunday either.
I was going to say that, yeah. I know that wasn't on Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah, he shot about 163 on Sunday.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Second mention of that Greg Norman round or on this call. Wasn't the first one, wasn't on the broadcast, but on the call.
Indeed. Yes. 8 lead changes among 3 different drivers in this race today. Kyle Larson has led 232 laps. Ryan Blaney has led 46. And Chase Elliott has paced the field for 6 laps. Those are the only 3 drivers to have led this race. Larson once again leading a bunch of laps around Bristol. Regan Smith on pit road.
Mike Ty Gibbs been doing a very nice job most of the day here. After losing that track position early on, has worked his way back forward. I want to go to something he said before the last pit stop, though, about his car. About 120 laps on those tires, not of all which were green. He said at the end, my car was completely out of control and lost all grip at the end of that run. Now, mind you, this next run, they may have to go just a little bit further than that. It's not that the right rears are wearing out, it's that they are heating up too much today, and that's what's making it so slippery for so many of these guys.
Ty Gibbs climbing up the running order up into fourth, Matt. It wasn't a great start to the day for that 54 team, but they've been chipping away at it, and he is up into the top 5.
Yeah, fell back, didn't he, during the first stage, but they've managed to turn it around, and here he is, as you say, in fourth position now as we head into the final sort of third-ish of this race. And Gibbs' cars, as I mentioned before, second, fourth, and fifth. The only other one, Christopher Bell, probably would be up there if it wasn't for the fact that he had his speeding penalty and then hit the wall earlier on. He is 3 laps down in 33rd, the sort of last of the runners that have had less issues than others, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you can see him on your screen. 32nd, 3 laps down, right ahead of William Byron. 33rd, 3 laps down. This day for the 24 team, Matt, has mirrored what the day was like for Joey Logano at Darlington a couple of weeks back. They haven't had any issues other than the fact that they've just missed the setup everywhere.
Yeah, Logano was not happy, was he, at Darlington a few weeks back, and they were just slow and never got anywhere near the front. So, bit of a better recovery today for Logano as he runs in 7th position. Terrible shot from Justin Rose before there, trying to chip onto the green and didn't even make the green. So,
good God,
for Rose.
I could have done that.
Meanwhile, just caught out the corner of my eye. Meanwhile, Ty Gibbs now up in a 3rd place. He's just taken Denny Hamlin.
So Gibbs
He was second a moment for Hamlin. So Blaney's got by him as well.
Yeah, so Gibbs able to lasso up his teammate, and Ty Gibbs up into the 3rd position at a Bristol racetrack where he has always performed well at. And here he is now in 3rd, still searching for that first career victory. Larson from Blaney, Gibbs, Hamlin, and Briscoe. Blaney's picked up 5 spots since the restart. Again, that 12 car really takes off well today. Of course, we normally talk about that 12 car having great long-run speed, but it's got good fire-off speed here this afternoon. Meanwhile, Kyle Larson just went over the 2,000-lap lead mark at Bristol, Seth. He becomes the 9th driver in NASCAR history to lead more than 2,000 laps at the Bristol Motor Speedway.
Oh, this is fun. Do you happen to have the other eight in front of you?
I can have it, yes. I will dig up my doc here.
I would like to take, the reason I asked is I would like to take a guess.
Yes.
Let me know when you have them in front of me, the next lull, when you have them in front of me in the next lull, if you will, and I might take a stab at it, OJ, of the 8.
Oh, God.
Anyway, while you're doing that, Kyle Larson continues to lead. 1.6 seconds is the gap to Ryan Blaney. As you can see from the timing tower, we're just about to hit lap 300 of the 500, and he is deep in traffic. And we'll nip past the Roto-Rooter number 88 of Colin Zilich, yesterday's 2 combatants at the end of yesterday's race. Zilich now a couple of laps down to the 5.
I knew I had it ticked off somewhere in this big stat sheet, and here it is as we work with now 200 laps to go in this race. Larson's lead at over, right about 1.5 seconds on Blaney. So here we go. Yes, I had the Larson laps led, and I knew he was closing in on 2,000, so I have these 8 in my stat sheet here. So Seth, and Matt, who have led 2,000 laps at Bristol? It's quiz time, and it's not even in a rain delay. Go ahead.
Kyle Busch.
And what was that, Seth?
Let's go one at a time. Darrell Waltrip.
Waltrip is correct. Who is that, Matt?
Kyle Busch.
Yeah, Busch 2,500, Waltrip 3,400. Seth?
Rusty Wallace.
Yes, third most, 3,723.
Pearson?
No, he just missed it at 1,600.
Jeffrey Michael Gordon.
Yes, 2,730, fifth most.
Ryan Blaney puts a lap on some more traffic here, including Collins Village. Dale Senior.
Yes, second most, 3,751.
Is that 6?
That is 6. You're missing 2.
My goodness, what a shot! Sorry, golf in the right hand corner of my screen.
You're missing number 1 and number 8 on this list.
Petty.
Richard Petty is correct, 2,212. Now you're only missing the guy that led the most laps all time. Cale Yarborough is correct at 4,305. There you go. Look at you two go.
Fun little game. Thanks for the shout out to the. Thank you for over preparing, Matthew. That was a fun little
game. All kinds of traffic here off turn 2, Matt.
Little Ryan Priesting at the back of Darrell Wallace. Brad Keselowski's in the middle of this. He's shooting the gap between Wallace and the very slow 66 of Fincham. All happening around here. This is back into the top 10.
Yeah, you got traffic, a big wave of traffic. That is how it kind of seems to happen around here. This is only a half-mile racetrack, and you got 30-plus cars on the track. But a lot of times the traffic will be in big waves as they are 3 wide again off of 4, and Wallace and Keselowski glance off one another.
Priest up on the high side trying to pass them both. Here's Kyle Larson now about to put his teammate William Byron 4 laps down.
Incredibly bad day for the 24 team. Ty Gibbs had started to run down the top 2 a bit while they were in traffic, but he is now faded back. He's nearly 3 seconds off the lead held by Larson, who does clear his teammate Byron. 190 laps to go here in the Food City 500.
Ryan Priest has cleared Keselowski in that battle for 10th position. They both cleared Wallace, so put the 60 car up in a P10.
And Larson's lead on Blaney, by the way, less than a second, so it continues to seesaw back and forth depending on the traffic situation. A.J. Allmendinger and Todd Gilliland battling for position here. That's just inside the top 20. And we've got trouble on the main straightaway. 2 cars around. Kyle Busch and Eric Jones have spun. Michael McDowell may have gotten a piece of the action trying to avoid. And the caution comes out as Jones in the number 43 for Legacy Motor Club, along with the Richard Childress Racing number 8 of Kyle Busch, go for a spin. Busch, of course, has had so much success here. He's won here 8 times in the Cup Series, 21 National Series wins here at Bristol for Kyle Busch. And those two go for a spin, pick it up, and get back going and try to rejoin the race without losing a lap, but I don't believe they did. Nope, they've both gone a lap down in 26th and 27th.
Yeah, just in front of Chase Briscoe in the queue here, and he is in 6th position, so we'll get a replay and see what happened down there on the front straightaway in a moment.
We're hearing the 8 might have gotten some help.
Well, Seth, how about you break it down for us?
Ooh.
Yeah, looks like it. That's Riley Herbst up there, it looks like. On the exit of 4, and yep, gets Kyle loose, and around she goes. And then Jones gets loose and spins trying to miss the spinning Busch.
Spun out of sympathy, as you lot over there like to say, Matt.
Well, Kyle gave Eric his big break, so Eric wanted to just, thank him for that again, I suppose.
And Michael McDowell.
I don't know if the hit in the door was necessary, but
Michael McDowell standing on the brakes to try to avoid, and he just got a piece of the right side of Jones's car, but looks to avoid major damage.
Yeah, I wouldn't be so keen on that left front of Kyle Busch being okay. And Eric Jones very frustrated inside the car after that one.
Pit road is open. We will, of course, start on the backstretch pit. That's where Matt's at.
Carson Hocevar first to find his pit crew, but here's the leader, Kyle Larson, coming in. Right side tyres done and dusted. They will swing themselves around to the left-hand side. 2 cans of fuel going in. Denny Hamlin also in the pits this time, as everyone will be on the lead lap. 4 good years, 2 cans of Sunoco fuel, and away they go.
Onto the front stretch pit road where Ryan Blaney and Ty Gibbs are at, along with others. Gibbs slides to a perfect stop right on the marks into his box. Monster Energy team goes to work. Right sides are already done in the blink of an eye. They swing to the left side. Sunoco Racing Fuel going in. Now the Ryan Blaney pit crew lost him 6 spots on pit road last time. They jack up the left sides. Are going to lose more spots. Larson wins the race off pit road ahead of Gibbs, then Hamlin, then Blaney, who this time will lose just the 2 spots on pit road. We're under caution again at the Bristol Motor Speedway. The Food City 500 has less than 200 laps still remaining. An update from Augusta. Seth, tell us what that leaderboard looks like.
Oh, well, it's we say Sunday at Augusta can have twists and turns. How much so? Rory's back in the lead. 11 under. He leads. Then you have a 4-way tie for second. Rose, Young, Hatton, and Henley all at 10 under. Scheffler at 9 under is 6th. Yet he's 2 off the lead. It is just an absolute log jam at the top as we are into the stretch, if you will, in Augusta. Scotty Scheffler is getting the gloves on at 13. He's getting ready to get a shot off here in just a split second. But, I commentated on some golf last year, including, I did at least 2, almost all the legs of the Tour Champion, of the FedEx Cup last year. How about that? Look at me go. And that was a lot of fun. Calling Tommy Fleetwood to the win. Our friend Collins Janus is the closest to getting right here, as Fleetwood nor Oberg have, neither one of them have made a threat. But here's McElroy. Here he is for birdie. And he puts the son of a gun up the hill. And it's McElroy up the hill, and he left it way short. Way short. And that's not the best putt on the planet for McElroy. As he goes, brief sour leaf. Now, in the trees here, behind the tree at 15, this is Russell Henley. Second shot. Can he pull a Mickelson here?
No, he's going to have to lay up.
Well, I was going to say, I don't know. The correct answer is nobody can do that.
No, indeed.
And Henley gets it onto the green, but he's still got a water hazard to deal with.
Now
the third.
I'll say this. This leaderboard is begging for Scotty Scheffler to make an eagle at 13 or 15. I mean, he's got those 2 drivable par 5s left. He could make eagle on either or both of those and totally turn it upside down.
Well, it won't be on 13 because his third shot landed about a few feet short of the cup, but a birdie is still in play, no question. Maybe I should be a golf announcer. I don't know. I'm too loud to be a golf announcer. Here's Cameron Young. This is Cameron Young, the pick of our good friend Collins Janus. For birdie in the co-lead at 11. And it's not going to have enough weight on it. Boy, I tell you, I don't know what. Listen, I'm not a greens expert, so someone can. But whatever the terminology is for whatever the greens are that's making them play short, if their intention was to make the golfers play short today, it's working. Oh, these putts are short as crap.
Wow, and that could just be the nerves of the players just not hitting through the ball on these huge putts. We are set to get doubled up for the restart. As we told you, Seth, our guy, has not been on for any NASCAR this year. He will be on, and he'll be in the turns for Kansas next weekend. But we've got to have Seth get back into the play-by-play mode of NASCAR. So, Seth, take it over here on this restart for a few laps and get ready for Kansas next week when you're out in the turns.
My pleasure. It is always good to get the baton tossed from one of the goats of our business. But anyway,
who's that?
AI Jack Whitaker, don't you know? But anyway, all right, here we go. They'll get the green at lap 321. Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin on the front row, then Ryan Blaney, Ty Gibbs, Carson Hocevar, Chase Briscoe, Josh Berry, Joey Logano, Chris Buescher, and I believe it's Ryan Preece up there. So no one's had anything for Larson all day long. Will that continue? Green flag back in the air on lap 321. And Hamlin stays somewhat even with him, Matt White, going to turn 1.
Yeah, better start this time for anyone other than Kyle Larson. But Larson will clear Denny midway down the back straightaway. Ty Gibbs still slides in a third, and it's Blaney and Briscoe battling it out for fourth.
Meanwhile, Blaney to the outside of Gibbs, trying to get third and going the long way around and maybe even get second.
He will clear Ty off of turn 2 and goes into third place. A bit of a wiggle from Hamlin there under power coming out of the corner. And Blaney will continue his run on the high side and will clear the 11 off 4.
Shot out of a cannon to second place goes Ryan Blaney. Hamlin now third. He might be split here.
He might have a problem. Hamlin is slow here, or slower, as Gibbs and Logano try and leach past him, and they will do. So perhaps a problem looming here for the 11. He's sliding backwards.
We'll have to keep an eye on that. Tyler Reddick next to get him, and meanwhile, Gibbs and Logano for third.
They'll continue this battle down towards turn 3. Logano getting ahead for the moment, and Gibbs has the run on the inside.
So battle for third on. Joey Logano has it. Ty Gibbs wants it. They're back in 2.
Continue this side-by-side battle, and this is all helping the guys in front skip away slightly. And Gibbs again continues to stuff it on the inside to try and keep this third place.
The run on the outside from Logano. Great battle for third, but as Matt said, that loses touch with the top 2.
Denny Hamlin has stemmed the bleeding somewhat in 5th position. We'll keep an eye on that. Here is Blaney now tracking down our leader.
And so now Blaney to within a car length of Kyle Larson. Lap 327 we work.
Gibbs has cleared Logano for third as we looked elsewhere, so that has settled itself down. So it's Gibbs, Logano, Hamlin, Reddick, Briscoe, Berry, Hocevar and Priest, the rest of the top 10.
Meanwhile, Blaney tries... Oh, he had a bit of a wiggle, didn't he, Matt?
Yeah, lost a little bit of grip there in the middle of 1 and 2. That'll give Larson a bit of a break for the moment, but Blaney will be straight back onto him, and he now take the low line through turns 3 and 4.
Meanwhile, good battles further back. Tyler Reddick, who has had a rough day, but boy, they're showing championship medal early in the season, up to 6. Who would have thought that at the start of the day?
Yeah, speeding penalty to throw into the mix as well for Reddick, and they had that report on a brake problem, but they are charging now, and he clears Briscoe for that 6th place.
Briscoe now back to 7th place in that Lance 19 machine. They're on the back stretch.
Just behind him, Josh Berry continuing his strong run, battling away with Ryan Priest for the 8th place. They'll be side by side off of 4.
So back to the main straightaway. 8th place again is the battle between Berry and Priest. Boy, ever since that strategy call early in the race, Matt, Berry has stayed in that top 10.
Yeah, he really has, considering Chase Elliott's continued struggles, it seems. This has been a really strong run for Berry so far. Not missing anything at the front. It's about 0.3 of a second between Larson and Blaney. Everybody single filed out themselves through the top 10. Meanwhile, a bit further back, AJ Allmendinger and Austin Cindric. Close quarters racing again between these two. And Todd Gilliland as well involved.
Chris Buescher not too far back as well. It's Cindric and McDowell ahead of Allmendinger as they go back to 1.
And close between the 16 and the 2 again, coming out of 2. And Todd, I don't think, is in the best spot here if these two get to battling like they were earlier, beating and banging off each other.
Yeah, Gilliland in a good position. He's had a solid rebound. Got a free pass earlier and is inside the top 15 now.
He was caught up in the SVG incident earlier on, which set him back. 3 wide in front of him, though, between the 2, the 6, and the 16. And here comes Chris Buescher to join the party.
Indeed he does. Brad Keselowski's had an eventful day, and Allmendinger gives him a ship in 1.
Don't shut the door on me, says AJ, and he moved Brad out of the way slightly there in the middle of 1 and 2 and clears through. So Keselowski falling back and he'll have his teammate to worry about behind.
He can still bump. 4th place, Matt.
Denny Hamlin has got a hold of whatever issues he had at the beginning of the run here, and he is now trying to track down Joey Logano for that 4th place.
How about the lead?
It's all over the place here. Action everywhere you look. Here's Blaney continuing to try and diamond the corner and try and get the lead, which he's been really desperate to get all afternoon.
Meanwhile, 4th place continuing on. Logano staying just ahead of Hamlin, and Blaney's there.
Shipped. There you go. To use your phrase, Blaney got to the back of Larson and moved him out of the way in 1 and 2. He will now have the high ground on the low line to try and complete this pass, and he will.
New leader at Bristol. It's High Point, North Carolina's Ryan Blaney at lap 3:39. Larson loose, Matt.
Yeah, off of 2, trying to put the power down as he can. They get past the ailing SVG, who's back on the racetrack after repair. Blaney the lead, 160 to go.
And he's legged it out a little bit. It's about 5 car lengths as he comes out of 2.
Yeah, fresh air on the nose of the 12, and he is clearing away here at the front end of the field. So Larson in a bit of an island on his own. He's got a bit of about a second or so back to Ty Gibbs in third.
So it is Ryan Blaney continuing. Ryan Blaney now showing the lane. Another look at excuse me, coming through. Elbow. That's an elbow move.
Yeah, that was a little bit rough from Blaney, but sometimes, as we've seen, it needs to happen at Bristol to make or complete a pass. And Blaney now continues on his merry way and already up to almost a second clear. Meanwhile, coming out of 2, here's Chase Elliott continue to have a struggle of a day. He's racing around Austin Dillon and Noah Gregson and Ross Chastain. All of this happening in the teens.
Indeed. Meanwhile, how about 6th place, Matt?
Chase Briscoe now trying to get back around his corporate teammate Tyler Reddick. The 2 Camrys battling it out as they come out of 4.
Reddick stays in front of Chase Briscoe. Carson Hocevar not too far back. We know he likes to get his nose into business.
Yeah, he'll be watching on eagerly here to see if he can pick up a couple of places. Having a really good day. Again, in the 77 is Hocevar. Out of 4 come these 2 Camrys.
Battle continuing on for 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Briscoe still trying to make something happen here on the inside of the championship leader. And just hasn't got the speed through the middle of the corner to make it happen.
Go back to turn 1. Meanwhile, let's pick up this battle in the mid-pack between Cindric, Gilliland, and Allmendinger, amongst others.
Yeah, Bubba Wallace just in front of these guys in the 23. And Cindric and Gilliland using the higher line up in the middle of 3 and 4.
Good move by Gilliland. He'll try to close in on Cindric. That is 12th place. Cindric's trying to get 11th, though, from Bubba Wallace.
Down the back straight they come again. Meanwhile, Chase Briscoe still hasn't managed to find a way through against Reddick, and Hocevar is closer.
Indeed. So that 6th, 7th, and 8th battle could be getting very spicy.
Side by side again off the corner. Meanwhile, Ryan Blaney into the depths of traffic, passing SVG, who's now 163 laps down. He's got Cody Ware and Ty Dillon to try and get around here as well as our race leader as he heads back towards 3. Now 1 second clear of Kyle Larson out front.
So it's Blaney the leader, then Kyle Larson. Ty Gibbs is 3rd. Joey Logano 4th. 5th is Denny Hamlin. 6 through 10, Tyler Reddick, Chase Briscoe, Carson Hocevar, Ryan Preece, Josh Berry, the top 10. There are 25 cars on the leader lap. Let's tell you real quickly who the rest of those... Well, never mind, because Hocevar is about to grab 7th from Briscoe.
He will. And Reddick has got away from these 2 for the moment. Hocevar having a look at Briscoe wasn't close enough.
Hocevar with a good run, though.
On the outside, the switch round, go to the high side of Briscoe, and now be ahead as they head towards 3. Has he got enough momentum to clear him off the corner? Yes, he has.
Carson Hocevar up into the 7th position in that blue and white 77. His solid start of the year might be continuing today.
Yeah, really good stuff from Hocevar as Fox throw forward to what we've already done, which is tell you that we're going to Kansas Speedway next Sunday, right here yet again on YouTube. And it's be a motorsports double next Sunday, as we've already mentioned, with the Kansas Cup race and the Long Beach IndyCar Grand Prix later on in the afternoon.
Ryan Blaney in the lead. Larry Mack apparently had a stat on the race today. He said Blaney has lost 30 more spots on pit road than anyone else in the series. I can believe that, personally.
Yeah, same. He made a couple of them up fairly immediately at the beginning on this restart to get the lead back. He's now 2 seconds clear. Rory McIlroy has just rolled in a birdie at 12 to go 2 shots clear.
Yep. And I just now saw that myself. So is he trying to take the fun out of it? Who knows? Real quick, Bubba Wallace is now into the top 10. I was going to give you the rest of the lead lap cars. Barry 11th, Cindric, Gilliland, Allmendinger, Keselowski, Chris Buescher, Austin Dillon, Chase Elliott, Noah Gregson, Daniel Suarez. Then 21 through 25. Come on, you stupid graphic. Riley Herb, Zane Smith, Ross Chastain, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and Michael McDowell. Those are your 25 lead lap cars. We work lap 357. Seth Eaves taking keeping the seat warm for Matthew Owens until about lap 401. Matt White in the turns. And Matt, it's been an interesting race. Maybe wouldn't be called a Bristol banger per se, but not a complete snooze either, though Blaney has checked out to a 2-second lead once he got around Larson.
No, but if we get a yellow here or there between now and the end, depending on tyre strategy, as we saw at the beginning of the race, could change up the running order of things. Still, as you say, with 140 laps to go as Blaney clicks across the line yet again, cutting his way through traffic. Not a banger, but not of no interest either, let's say.
I would agree.
I would also say, to the point that you guys were just making about all the spots Blaney's losing on pit road, and as we've talked about throughout the day, that's been a theme of the season for that 12 team. This is race 8 of the year. This is not something that they can continue to live with. This is a championship-level driver. We talked about that during the Phoenix race and how many ways he showed just champions resolve at Phoenix, and he's won a championship before. They cannot win a championship this year, Matt, especially in a 10-race chase now. They cannot win a championship with this continuing on pit road. This is unacceptable.
No, they need to... something needs to change down there, because this will not win you a championship. This will throw you a championship away if this was to happen in the late laps at Homestead, if you were in a potential chance to win the whole thing. It's got to get around the big gaggle of lap traffic here. The two sky blue and white cars next to each other, Chastain and Eric Jones.
Chastain about to go a lap down. He had a good start to the day, but has kind of faded back. And speaking of faded, Josh Berry, after a great day, he is now really faded. He has now dropped back to the 17th position here as we are in the final lap. So you can count that as the commentator's jinx, was talking about how well Berry had stayed all day, and now he drops back to, it's 15th. I thought it was 17th. Meanwhile, 6th place.
Yeah, Hocevar and Reddick at it now. 4-6. Hocevar got clear of Briscoe a little while ago, as we documented. Reddick trying to hold the position.
Indeed he is, and Briscoe's right back into the mix, so it's 3 under a blanket for 6th again.
Hocevar looking. Very close quarters racing here between he and Reddick. If anything was to happen, Briscoe is right there to pounce.
Indeed he is. It's Blaney now continuing to surge away here potentially on lap 368. It has not been a good start to the back 9 for Justin Rose.
No, I was just about to mention that. He's made 2 straight bogeys, and he just missed an eagle and birdie putt, a 3-putt 5 on the 13th to stay 2 back. So the 2 bogeys right in a row really hurts, but then not even getting a birdie out of the 13th when he had a putt for eagle. Oh, my goodness, my heart breaks for him, but he's going to have to... He's going to have to attack 15 here in a couple of holes' time. Christopher Bell up against the wall there out of 4.
Yep. Yeah, I was just about to say, Chris Bell looks like he's got some problems up against the wall. We stay green for the present time, though. Blaney's on the backstretch.
Yeah, Ryan Blaney's got a problem. He's called Ricky Stenhouse Jr. trying to keep himself on the lead lap. There was almost contact between them a little while ago coming out of 4. Stenhouse fighting. Carry on in this battle between Reddick and Hocevar for 6th.
Hocevar's going to clear him for the time being, so move the 77 up into 6th, while Briscoe attacks Reddick for 7th.
So Hocevar up to 6th position. He's worked hard to get both of these Camrys into his rearview mirror, and the 77 will continue his way.
Hocevar up into 6th. Now Reddick goes way up on the cushion.
And Briscoe had a look underneath him there coming out of 2, but wasn't close enough. Reddick again way up high in 3 and 4.
Indeed. And again, the battle carries on.
And Briscoe this time with a much better run out of the corner of 2. Looked like he was going to get underneath him. Meanwhile, further forward, 4th and 5th, Logano and Hamlin.
Yeah, Logano has the spot. He's on the high side. Hamlin, though, with good bite on the low side.
And Denny will be ahead and squeezes Joey up to the wall coming out of 2. I thought Joey was going to give him one back there as they headed towards 3, but did not. position change, Hamlin up to 4th place.
Hocevar is lurking behind these two. He's on them.
Yeah, he's cleared those 2 other Camrys, and now he's focusing his attention forward on a top 5 spot. Getting a replay here of... What are we going to get? I think this is the Blaney and Stenhouse moment that I noted as it happened. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was a big slide by Kyle Busch coming out of turn number 4, and he's saved it brilliantly right in front of the leader.
It's a really
Could
good
have been
save.
Our first piano moment in the YouTube era there for Ryan Blaney.
Nearly could have been. Blaney's lead is just north of 2 seconds, lap 379. 122 remaining in the Food City 500. It's Blaney from Larson, Gibbs, Hamlin, and Logano.
2.3 seconds at the line last time, Blaney's advantage over Kyle. So clearly, again, you had to use the bumper to get through and get the clean air, but once he had it, he made good use of it and has stretched that lead out nicely. Just put Noah Gragson a lap down.
He did. He works his way out of 4th, sweeps by at the start-finish line, and completes yet another lap. In the interval, about the same, 2.3 seconds.
Down the back straight again comes Blaney. Gibbs is about the same sort of distance back from Larson as well, and been on his own get my words out, on his own little island in 3rd place at the moment, Ty Gibbs. Here's Hocevar trying to attack Joey Logano for 5th.
Yep, the man from Michigan against the man from Connecticut. We saw that earlier in the week. Michigan came out on top. What's going to happen here? Never mind, caution. Oh, look out!
Oh, right in front of them is Connor Zilich, who was spun to the low side in turn 2. And he has got right rear damage, so he has hit the wall at some stage. Yesterday's race winner, and he's gone straight down pit lane on the back straightaway, but the caution is out.
That's the day in the gutter for the Roto-Rooter car, I'm afraid. So, Phillip is finding issues, not having the same level of success that he had one night ago. And we'll have a quick look and
Stepping away for a
see.
second.
What? I'm sorry?
Just going to step away for a second.
Okay, you're good. So, Connor Zilich now. We'll bring that car to pit road. We'll hopefully get a replay in a minute and see what happened to the young shoe driving that 88. Is not been, Matthew Owens, the best start to his rookie season.
Yeah, it's been really a mess to start the season for Connor. Does not have a top 10. Best finish of 14th was at Coda. And we'll try to, he was in the wall way, way early in the corner. And then that probably broke the toe link in the right rear and sent him around in a very vulnerable spot. I'll add on to that. Oh, wow. I don't know. Something may have broke on that car. He went from the bottom and shot all the way up to the wall.
And I think you might be on about that.
So this will bring everyone down pit road with around 115 laps to go. And if it were to stay green the rest of the way, and even if it doesn't stay green the rest of the way, this could be final stops of the day. And pit road is open. Matt just stepping away there, so we will head down to pit road for the backstretch pit stops, which will include Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson.
Said he can't get his car to do what Blaney's car has been able to do out there. Cliff Daniels told him over the radio, what we can do, we can give you an air pressure adjustment and we can beat him off pit road. Let's see if they can do that here, Jamie.
Denny Hamlin pits from 4th. His pit crew has been outstanding today. Gained him 6 spots on pit road. It's a 4-tire stop here. Pretty happy with the car overall, Regan.
Ty Gibbs was a little bit better on that run, but the team, and a little sketchy on entry with it still, though. Team warned him at the start that they had more fuel load, so that may have been the case. And the 12 car of Ryan Blaney, the balance was good. He was trying to conserve tires, but build a gap all at the same time.
See what the race off here will be, Seth.
Well, let's see, and Blaney's going to win it.
Wow.
No spots lost. Wow. Well, when they needed a really good pit stop, they got it. And Larson and Barry with a coming together. That's interesting. Brad Keselowski speeding on pit road.
Oh, gosh.
So,
Matt mentioned earlier how many things Larson's been hitting today. Now he's hit someone on pit road.
And so Keselowski's eventful day carries on.
And we'll have to keep an eye on what happened with Todd Gilliland on pit road, guys. He came out 4th, so he either took none or 2. But
It was an alternate strategy, that's for sure.
Yeah. I said earlier Scotty Scheffler could really turn this thing upside down if he could birdie or even eagle the 15th, but he has just driven it way, way right and has pushed it certainly towards a tree, perhaps into some pine straw off the tee at 15. And if he cannot recover, wow, he was way off balance on that. That is the worst golf swing you'll see Scotty Scheffler make. I mean, he was
right
almost
foot off the ground.
Yeah, lunging at the ball. That was, oh my goodness. So that basically will be Scheffler done if he cannot recover there and at least hit birdie, because he's now 3 back.
Yeah. The thing I saw on Twitter was Rory just bored with the lead after Friday? Was he just bored? But,
well,
Jake Knapp had a solid 70. He just finished up his day at 70, and he now goes. He'll finish at 7 under.
Rory never does anything the easy way.
No, he does not.
Except that U.S. Open that he won.
He's a diehard fan of his.
Other than that U.S. Open that he won at the Olympic Club eons ago, he doesn't do anything easy.
Here's Cameron Young's second shot at the par 5 13. I remember a time it was supposed to be me with the updates. Now we've all commentated on it today. Young now steps out into the grass. Or the second cut, or whatever the technical term is. Here's Young. Just don't pull a Gary McCord. Young.
Oh.
If I may. Here's a shot. Oh, boy.
It's not good.
That looked way off to the left.
Yeah, and that's the other par 5 13th. Where McIlroy
gets a spin. Still though, off the green.
Yeah, McIlroy could take his first step towards putting this thing away. That's the best drive that he's had at 13 all week. And if he can come out of 13 with a birdie or better, this could be the first step towards Rory putting this thing away. We'll return to racing action here in a moment, we promise.
Now here's Rory at 13. McIlroy. Oh, hold up. Brief break, brief pause. We might get the green before he gets this shot off.
His iron play has been divine all week.
Lap 390. Ryan Blaney, can he hang on to it? There will be 110 laps to go. Let me get the green flag. Ryan Blaney trying to secure the victory. Rory has missed the green. He hit it about the same place Young did.
Yep.
110 to go. Todd Gilliland, alternate strategy. Will it pay off for him? We're going to find out. Blaney and Gibbs on row 1, then Hamlin and Larson in row 2, Briscoe and Logano, Gillen in row 3. Green flag back of the air. Blaney gets the jump to 1, Matt.
He will get the jump to 1. Gibbs will try and run him as hard as he can off for 2, though, but we'll have to relinquish the position. So Blaney goes to the lead. Larson on the high side trying to round up Ty Gibbs, and does so to go back to P2.
Larson back to P2. Gilliland staying steady in 4th. Blaney still leads.
And Gilliland will, yes, complete the pass on Howell. Fend off Denny Hamlin for 4th. Oh, Josh Berry perhaps got in the wall out of RI shot there coming out of 2. He's slow on the top side.
Yep.
And he's got smoke.
Yep, so a promising day has gone south, quick, fast, and in a hurry for the driver of that Wood Brothers 21. The Tennessee native from Hendersonville, just outside of Nashville, is Josh Berry. 5th place.
Logano and Hamlin side by side coming out of 2, and Denny will not be clear to cover off Logano coming out of the corner. And we'll try again, this time coming out of 4, but Logano sticks with it.
Logano now on the high side going to turn 1. He's going to try and climb the banking again.
And he will have the momentum down the back straight away to keep it wound up on the top side. Hamlin will try and stick it through the middle, but Logano will clear him off the corner.
He will clear him off the corner. Hamlin, though, will fight back.
Logano has the position for the moment. This is for 5th. You're not missing anything at the front, we hope, as we look at this battle on for 5th position. But look at Todd Gilliland go up in a 4th place.
Strategy working so far. Nearing 100 to go, and he runs 4th, and that loves 34.
Well within the realms of a best Bristol finish, which came a couple of years ago. 16th, his best from 6 starts here. Running 4th at this moment in time, and almost got the wall off 4th.
He did. Hamlin's under pressure for 6th from Hocevar.
So he couldn't get around Logano, and now he's going to be under pressure, as you say, from young Carson down the inside of turn 3. And Chase Briscoe just in the back of this. He's been all around that 77 pretty much all afternoon.
They've gotten to know each other real well, I'd say.
They really have. And Hocevar again trying to pick up out of 2 to try and clear. Hamlin has not. Josh Berry stayed on the racetrack. The smoke almost has cleared from the right side of the 21, but not quite.
So it's Ryan Blaney leading Kyle Larson, Ty Gibbs, Todd Gilliland, and Joey Logano. Then it's Denny Hamlin, Carson Hocevar, Chase Briscoe, Ryan Preece, and Tyler Reddick, your top 10. And for the final 100 laps, I hand you back off to Walnut Cove, North Carolina's Matthew Owens.
It looked like Barry got bulldozed in turn 2. That's what caused his contact with the wall, Matt, by Noah Gregson.
Yeah, it was a little bit rude from the 4 car there of Noah. Barry has continued, but he's just about to lose a lap, which is a real shame. After that strategy call early on, got themselves in good track position. It's going to be a spoiler on their day. Here's Denny Hamlin and Carson Hocevar continuing their fight for 6th place through turn 4. Hamlin on the outside.
Hamlin going to try to complete this pass for 6th. Looks like he will. So how you feeling, Seth, going to Kansas next week? Feeling good?
Yeah. Feeling pretty well.
There we go. Very good.
Ready to get back. We're back, folks.
We'll have Seth in the turns next week. Matt and I will co-anchor next week's 400-miler at Kansas, which is new. We're trying some different formats with our track layout this year. Felt like a new platform. Try some new formats. So Matt and I will co-anchor the 1.5-mile track next week, and Seth will be out in the turns, and we'll have a bunch of fun in Kansas City, which has produced some really good races of late, including in the playoff race that it hosted last year, won by Chase Elliott. And speaking of Chase Elliott, he is on screen now, fighting Chris Buescher for the 13th position. It's just in behind Austin Cindric and Darrell Wallace Jr. As Seth mentioned, we are inside the final 100 laps. So, Matt, we were talking during that caution when everyone was on pit road. If it stays green, then there's no question about it. But even if we get yellows, was that the last stop of the day, or will there be more?
Well, yeah, it depends how far back in the field we are. We've still got 20-plus cars on the lead lap, so that's going to be a factor. But it depends if we get a caution and when it falls. And will some people try and be brave and stay out, or will some people try and be brave and come in? It's going to be all of the dice all up in the air all at once, I would think, depending on if we get a yellow.
All dependent on if the yellow flag shows itself before this race is done. Ryan Blaney and Kyle Larson have clearly had the best 2 cars here, but if it were to go green to the end, Matt, that would be the longest green flag run of the day. And if we were to go that whole way green, could we see someone like a Ty Gibbs show up and maybe stick his hat in the ring in that battle between 5 and 12?
He's clearly got a decent car, so if he can get himself on the front row for a restart or take some differing strategy to get him up there, perhaps we'll see. But here is Gibbs, blowtorching the back now of Larson for 2nd place.
He's only 3 car lengths back as those 2 flash across the start-finish line.
Not so far behind Blaney this time. It's 1.3 seconds, the gap between 1st and 2nd, Blaney and Larson, as they start to get back into the traffic again. Here is Blaney out of 4.
Blaney in that white, black, and red number 12. The discount tire number 12 this weekend. with Menards going on the 2 car just to try to confuse us commentators. We love that kind of stuff. And Blaney has been really good all day long, Matt, on the bottom. He's made up spots on the top, but that 12 car, he has pitched it on the bottom and stayed there most of the day.
Yeah, and he had to pass Larson around the top side, managed to get that. Well, sorry, no, he didn't. He bumped and scraped his way through to get to the lead, but he has been passing on both sides. But when he's got the clean air on that car in this last little while, his last couple of runs, he really has come alive. Talking of coming alive, Scheffler saving himself at the 15th with a birdie.
Wow.
A miraculous birdie at that.
No kidding.
He goes to second.
2 back. He's got 4 to play. 5-way tie for second,
5.
Is that? Good Lord.
Yep. 5.
Tell you. And the shadows are getting longer and longer as the sun gets deeper towards the west in Augusta.
Same for here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Most of the track is now in shadow. It's just sort of turn 4 and front stretch that are still bathed under the UV. Kyle Larson fending off Ty Gibbs. Joey Logano settled himself in a 5th position behind Todd Gilliland.
Scheffler, by the way, has never come from behind after 54 holes to win a major. And we will keep you updated as Blaney's lead is 1.7 seconds on Kyle Larson. And Ty Gibbs continues to stay close to Larson. Oh, what the heck. Seth, we got McElroy putting for birdie on 13.
Yeah, I like to keep myself muted when I'm not talked to just to avoid oohing and ahhing and stepping on people. But yes, he just birdied at 13, and it's now a 3-shot lead after back-to-back birdies. He's 3 up with 5 to play. Looking to become the first man, if I'm not mistaken, since Tiger in 2000 and 2001 to repeat as Masters champion.
Yep, 0102. You're absolutely on it.
0102.
And only 3 men have ever done it. And this is going to come down to if he finds water on 15 or 16. He's got a good enough lead now. He can't play defensive, but he can play down the middle. He just cannot find water on 15 or 16. And, of course, he did find water on 13 yesterday. 79 laps to go.
Car tight.
What was that?
Larson car tight.
I can believe that because he's having to put a lot more wheel input into that 5 car than what we've seen most of the day, Matt. And I just wonder, we've seen medium runs, haven't we? We haven't seen really long runs. This one is around the longest we've seen. Wow, Briscoe out of shape out of 4. Makes a great save. Quick hands on the 19. But I just wonder, Matt, maybe track conditions are changing a bit, as you say, with more shade covering the back end of the racetrack, but just the track rubbering in more and more. Looks like that 5 car has gotten tighter as the day's gone on.
Yeah, it's swung away from Larson and perhaps swung towards Blaney with the differing setup on both of those cars. So still 50 plus, 75 laps indeed still to go. So still a long way here. And these two are at it again. AJ Allmendinger and Austin Cindric, who have been tied together all afternoon.
Yeah, they sure have. This is at the 13th position. Allmendinger's green and black Chevrolet, along with Cindric's Ford in neon yellow and deep blue. 13th and 14th the battle. 21 cars, as you can see, are on the lead lap. So this is right in the middle of the lead lap cars. Denny Hamlin and Carson Hocevar are going to re-engage a battle between themselves for 6th. And in fact, just ahead of them, Matt, is the 5th place car of Joey Logano. They're in turn 1.
Yeah, so these guys all fairly close together. As we flash back to see what's happening with Kyle Larson, he's just got around Kyle Busch, who's a couple of laps down. It'd be nice to go back to that battle, Fox. That would be lovely.
Kyle Larson just trying to hold off Ty Gibbs right now. Larson is definitely not on the offensive in any way. He is defending from Gibbs, who are close together. Back to 1.
Oh.
Yeah, Gibbs suddenly wasn't in the shot before, and suddenly he's come back into the battle here with Larson, who defends it a little bit into turn 3, goes down to the low line early. But Ross Chastain just in front of these two.
Larson with a defensive line. He'll take it to the bottom of 1.
Gibbs staying in the middle, try and get more of a run out of 2. Larson clears Ross, and Gibbs now stuffs it down the inside of the one car as well to try and clear, and he will do.
So they both get around Chastain. Still a car length between cars 5 and 54.
Yeah, and Gibbs just not having the speed, perhaps, and as I say that, in again in the background to get close to Larson. He's perhaps trying to use a bit of a traffic pick going on here as they get close up with Noah Gragson.
Hamlin and Logano for 6th with Briscoe looking on in 2.
And these guys have been battling along the lines for a little while. Hamlin and Logano anyway, and Denny has just got back around Joey. This is for 6th position, and Briscoe's got around him too, so the Gibbs car's coming forward.
Yep, Gibbs car's getting closer and closer to the front the deeper that we go. Fox just showed us a stat, by the way. This is the 10th time in Kyle Larson's career that he has led over 250 laps in a race, but Matt, of the previous 9, he's only converted 5 of those to victory.
Yeah, it looks like perhaps there's going to be another one that doesn't happen for him. Still, things could change if it stays green, though. It looks fairly decent for Ryan Blaney at the moment. Now 2.5 seconds clear of this battle for 2nd position. Meanwhile, Denny Hamlin still under pressure from his teammate Chase Briscoe.
And Carson Hocevar has started to splinter away from that duo just a bit. Hamlin has it go up the banking in 3 and 4. He's got a lap car of Michael McDowell dead ahead that he's got to be circumspect about.
Yeah, now McDowell will go to the inside, and the 2 Camrys will whip around the outside of the 71. Here's Logano, who's continuing to fall away. He's now got Tyler Reddick for company for 8th place.
Reddick trying to rebound and get back into the top 10. He is a nose behind Logano.
Coming through turn 1 and 2 again. And Reddick, a bit squirrely as they come out of 2 that time. Logano will keep the spot for now. They've now got to get around the 71 of Michael McDowell, who's getting right in the way of the battle. Not that he had much choice. And they split to the 71 down the front straight away.
McDowell parked the bus on the exit of 4, and Reddick nearly crammed into the rear of the 71. He and Logano will continue this battle. Championship leader Tyler Reddick, he's finished top 5, Matt, in 5 of the first 7 races this year.
And he's trying to get a position here to go to what would be 8th and does now clear Logano as they come out of the corner and heading towards turn 3. So Reddick up 1 more spot.
His worst finish on the year, Reddick, is 15th. That's how good he's been.
Yeah, and not a little bit off it today, but bouncing back here in the final runs of things. Here's Hamlin and Briscoe continuing their fight for 6th place.
Across the line, 6th and 7th with the lap car of Noah Gragson ahead, and Gragson nearly in the wall.
Yeah, trying to get out as much out of the way as he could do, and almost wrecked himself as Briscoe again attacks the back of the 11.
Yeah, Briscoe and Hamlin continuing this battle between teammates. We know how good the Joe Gibbs cars have been here at Bristol in the next gen era, and speaking of one of those Gibbs cars, it's Ty Gibbs off the top of turn 4, right underneath the spoiler of Kyle Larson for 2nd in the corner.
It looks like he's getting a bit impatient now, trying to follow the 5 car is Ty Gibbs, and he has the run off 2. They'll be side by side down the back straight away. And it looks like through 3 and 4, it looks like Gibbs will clear, and he does.
Yeah, Gibbs threw it hard into 3 around the top, and he wraps it around the top and gets by Larson. Ty Gibbs moves up into the 2nd position. Now can he run down race leader Ryan Blaney? Perhaps he can cut into the deficit of 2.5 seconds, because Blaney, going back to turn 1, Matt, has a big wave of traffic ahead.
Now 5 cars all around him. He's got past 2 of them. As Blaney, he's got around Byron and Ty Dillon. Now Austin Dillon is his next victim to put another lap down. And then Keselowski and Elliott just ahead.
Blaney knifes his way to the inside of Dillon. Hasn't cleared him yet by the time they make it back to 1.
And he will do it now coming out of 2. And Chase Elliott will be his next victim. So this is in the mid-teens. These lappery going on here for Blaney.
Blaney, who's never won here at Bristol. He's been good here, not great, but he's never been able to finish the deal here at Thunder Valley. Today might be the day. He's had one of, if not the best cars all day long, Seth, and despite problems on pit road, which has been a theme of the season for this 12, Blaney has just kept chipping away at it, hasn't he, Seth?
Yeah. And he's been absolute money today. has Ryan Blaney. The pit crew has been money, but he himself has been absolute money. And oh!
Wow.
Did he just have more than 4?
Well, he just had a big moment there. I don't know if the car got out from under him, Matt. What happened here? We're just singing his praises.
Yeah, I was looking at my second screen, which I'll tell you about in a second, which you're probably about to see. Whoa, he got way out of the gas and had to correct going in a free in front of Brad Keselowski. Perhaps he got a little bit too low there and caught a bit of the flat with the left front, did Ryan Blaney. What were you saying about Scotty Scheffler? He's just birdied the 16th.
Oh, goodness. And there are all kinds of traffic in front of Blaney. They're 3 wide ahead of him. And he's got to go to the outside of Brad Keselowski and Cole Custer.
Yeah, Van Gisbergen in the slow 97 after damage. Sort of trying to stay out of the way here, but there isn't much place to go. And now he does get out of the way, and Blaney will skip through.
And then in the last
So the
3
gap has been
laps, and in the last 3 laps, the lead from 2 seconds to 0.8.
Ty Gibbs is coming. 41 laps to go when Brian Blaney comes back to the flag stand here. And he's having real trouble passing his rival teammate, Brad Keselowski.
Across the line, he's right underneath the spoiler of Keselowski. Blaney will fade that car up into the banking of 1 and 2.
Nothing doing that time. Gibbs has got some traffic around him too. Custer and Elliott, the next 2 for Ty Gibbs to get around. He's way dropped Kyle Larson now. He's a second back from Ty Gibbs.
Yeah, I was just about to mention he's a second and a half ahead of Larson now. So that 5 car, he could really use a caution to get fresh tires bolted onto that Chevrolet. And he can hope to maybe make another run at it. But on these tires, it doesn't look like Larson has anything for the guys ahead of him. In fact, he might be just happy with finishing 3rd and not feeling any pressure from Hocevar, Briscoe, or Gilliland. Speaking of Gilliland, Seth, what a call by that 34 team to get the track position. He is keeping it. He has just lost 5th to Briscoe, but Gilliland, a big top 10 it would be if he can hold on.
Oh, yeah, absolutely it would. 6th place is where he currently sits. So, potentially a chance here for Todd Gilliland to have a really, really, really good moment. And Scheffler has hit that on the fairway at 17.
Tell you,
my goodness.
You never know. Blaney dealing with more traffic, Matt. He's cleared Suarez. He'll try to clear Cody Ware in the corner.
He will get past Cody Ware. Next up, Michael McDowell again. Done seem for 2 minutes since they were lapping Michael McDowell a little while ago, but McDowell going in another lap down. Blaney will clear him out of 4.
By the way, speaking of Todd Gilliland, if he were able to finish in the top 10, Matt, it would be his first top 10 since another short track race. He was 9th at Martinsville last fall.
Yeah, been a bit of a slow start this year with Front Row compared to how they started off the season last year. But plugging away is Gilliland. Talking of plugged, here's Ty Gibbs, who's caught in an absolute hornet's nest of traffic here trying to get past McDowell and Cody Ware.
Couldn't get around Ware in the Bob Costa oil number 51 for Rick Ware Racing. Meanwhile, Chase Briscoe stuck in traffic at the 5th position. He's trying to chomp in on the deficit that he has to Carson Hocevar.
Yeah, but traffic giving and taking away all at the same time for Briscoe. And he'll try and get past Stenhouse here in 3 and 4.
Real
to
quick.
try and keep the ball off Hocevar.
Real quick, Rory could only par 14. And Rose is just birdied at 15, so he's now 11 under.
This race is going to be over by the time that we're going to be able to.
Way before.
Yeah, it is.
Matthew, you want to have a, I mean, not call, but you want to have just a chop it up watchers match. Long see what I did there. You chopped it up the first time in honor of a
look at him go.
person that's heading out the door.
Yes. Todd Gilliland running in 6th, might be about to lose that spot. In fact, those older tires starting to catch up with him a little bit. Briscoe got around him a couple of laps ago. Now he's got Hamlin and Reddick beating at the back door. 30 laps to go now in this race. Leader remains Blaney by about a second on Gibbs. Hamlin going to complete the pass on Gilliland to take over 6th, Matt.
Yep, he will eventually. As they come out of turn number 2, now will clear the 34, and Reddick will try and come with his team boss as they head back towards 3, and it looks like he will do. Here's Blaney still struggling to get past Keselowski.
Well, and very loose on the exit of 2 was Blaney. My goodness, and Gibbs is really starting to run him down. This is the longest green flag run we've had all day, Matt, and that 12 car is struggling. One, to get by Keselowski, as you said, so he gave him a bump, but he still couldn't get by him because he lost rear traction on the exit of 2.
I was going to say, before we saw the replay, it won't be long before Ryan Blaney sharpens his chrome horn, and that had just happened as we cut to them. So he does not want to be stuck here behind a fellow Ford when there's a Camry closing in behind.
And Ty Gibbs is indeed getting closer and closer to the front in his 131st career Cup Series start. Could it be career win number 1?
Blaney finally gets around Keselowski on the high side through 1 and 2. I think Brad finally got the message, and they will clear him. He'll also clip past Noah Gragson as well, so 3 cars between the 2 leaders.
24 laps to go.
On board with Ty Gibbs, he's now got this group to pick his way through, including Keselowski, who might not be easy to pass. Oh, yellow. Well, there goes all of that. Chase Elliott with smoke trailing out the back of the 9 car.
Caution is out. And the restart will come with under 20 laps to go, and things change completely. And I know I asked you earlier, Matt, if we're going to get another stop if we get a caution. With the amount of slipping and sliding that we've seen, I think everyone will be in. Larson's way too tight. Blaney's getting loose. I think everybody will be on pit road.
Let's see what happened to Chase Elliott. He was spinning on the high side in front of Austin Cindric. Not sure if there was contact or not. But all the way around went Chase in a cloud of his own smoke. Good recovery to complete the 360 engaged